So you know what we'll do? We'll cheat. We're gonna go back to the save. Because I at least want to know what either Daxton or Leo's gonna say. Oh God! There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. That's my boy Leo. It's my boy. No, he's not your dad. He's mine. He's mine. Leo's so hot. I know. Look at him. And you know what? He bleps too. In the story, he bleps. Leo was just made for me. Leo was made for me. I will fight you? No, he's mine. He's mine. Sit down, puppy. He's mine. Darius, you're a cat. You are a cat. Sit down, kitty. When I turn back, Leo's smile has grown more tight, though he tries to play off his reaction. Oh, Jesus. Chase, I've been meaning to talk to you about some things. I just know. Leo lets out a large breath of air, checking his phone. Fucking Pops, man. He doesn't care whether or not it's my day off. Family helps family. Leo mumbles a few inaudible swears in his native language before looking up at the two of us. He seems to think for a moment. I'll see you guys later. Well, now I'm heartbroken. You know what? I'm gonna go back to that save, and I'm going to go on Leo's route because Leo is canon. Chase, we're gonna talk. Right. I give him an awkward thumbs up. He nods, turning and making his way outward. You know what? Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that. I'm sorry if you like Scalies, but my God, like, I kind of need him. Okay, it's been months and months on end. I need him. Daxon pushes the tips of his fingers together, trepidation upon his face despite his initial request. I'd offer you a seat in this house if we still had furniture. He lets out a small puff of air, looking around and seeming to acknowledge his environment for the first time. Carl told me you grew up here. Yeah, the place isn't as old as it looks, by the way. I think my uncle just really dug the whole prairie aesthetic. I'm admittedly a wee bit done with that theme at this point. Growing up in Colville? No surprise there. It's like, I try to find the right word. A facade of a town. Daxton nods slightly, not about to protest that. He turns, walking past the doorway and into the foyer. Indoor windows, though. Whose idea was that? Are we just going through a house tour? What? I follow him. Daxton points to the antique bordered windows. Surprisingly, none of the glass has been shattered yet. Oh, well, obviously not mine. My parents enclosed part of the porch when I was like 10. They left the windows, though. Daxton nods as he paces around the room, the floorboards creaking beneath his unpadded feet. And careful where you walk, I wouldn't doubt junkies shoot up in here. That stops the salamander, the blue-eyed fellow shifting his gaze back to me. Right, good idea that. He sniffs. So, I lean against the back wall after a cursory glance, making sure it's spider-free. Daxton says nothing. In fact, he just keeps looking at me. A sense of unease begins to tingle down my spine, and I'm reminded of last night, the way Daxton looked at me in the car as we drove home. He didn't say much the whole ride, thankfully. At first he asked about my lack of shirt, but after I didn't respond, he kept pretty quiet. I had a dream last night. Can I tell you about it? I feel a mixture of relief and awkwardness. Sure? Daxton's mouth pulls to one side, his face contorting into a sort of sheepish half-smile. Well, it wasn't truly like a dream or nothing of the sort I'm familiar with. Dreams are the sorting and categorizing of the happenings of the days by the subconscious of the mind. You know how they are, where the sky never looks quite day or night, always some sort of violet or reddish dusky setting. You always have some limited control of what environs you, of what environs surround ya. Again, mainly on the subconscious level. In the dream, if you're worried, then you'll have a right to be worried, like a self-fulfilling prophecy of what have ya. Fearing that a bad thing might happen to a loved one, a bad thing will happen to a loved one. Afraid that something scary might be in the room, then something scary is in the room. I look around briefly. He gesticulates in a swirling motion to get my attention, shifting to digress. It's why the stress, the traumatized, and the guilty get night terrors the more than anyone else. Daxton lets his hands fall to his hips, his eyes trailing downward to the dusty boards beneath my feet. Lately I've been getting a lot of bad dreams, but ones that don't seem to, I don't know, supposed align with me. I'm doing things that I've never done in places I've never been, and that sense of subconscious agency is entirely absent. Like I'm out in the pines and holding this rifle. Daxton. He looks up. No offense, but where is this going? Daxton's posture seems to go a little more rigid, the salamander's nostrils flexing flaring as he exhales. I'm beginning to think that Daxton is a lot weirder than I initially thought. Yeah, we probably should have stuck with Leo. You see what I mean? This is why we stick with the wolf. Okay, I'm getting to it. Last night after you dropped me off, I fell asleep in the recliner in the living room. Shortly after, I felt like I woke up, but I wasn't in the house anymore. I was in some school computer lab I didn't recognize. You were there, except it wasn't you. He clears his throat. It was a different you, younger and louder. Ooh, sorry about that, I had to sneeze. Carl and Flynn were standing behind you too, but they weren't saying anything. Sometimes I blinked my eyes and they were there, and sometimes they weren't. I think words are coming out of your mouth, but I couldn't make anything out. It's like a waterfall was rushing behind me. I started to hate you. I couldn't believe that I had hung out with you voluntarily. Like the sight of you made my stomach hurt. I blinked, frowning some before opening my mouth to speak. However, Daxton cuts me off, continuing on. There was something on the computer screen next to you that kept showing over and over again. It was this other Otter sitting in his bedroom with a big sports poster on the wall. Other Otter. He was crying, staring at something in the corner of the room. Again, you were just playing the same scene over and over again. Eventually, you just deleted it outright, and that made me mighty perturbed for whatever reason. I wanted to hit you, so I did. Oh. Daxton sees the deepening frown on my face, and he smiles very slightly, though he quickly goes back to his more serious expression. It was like I teleported across the room. Next thing I knew, I had grabbed and hit you, but your body had the consistency of loamy sand. You were crumpling and dissolving every time I touched you. Your fur turned gray and speckled, and your face didn't look like you anymore. Everyone else started grabbing me, and I recognized Carl's arms, but there were a bunch of others. Even you somehow had a hold on me. No Flynn, though. Hell, I couldn't even see him anymore. I remember calling for him, hoping he was back from that bar. The next thing I know, I'm on a beach. I'm just standing there, watching the tide lick at the sand beneath my feet. Then there's this... Daxton pauses, crossing his arms over his chest. He moves across the room to lean against the wall beside me, staring ahead. It's just this... I don't know what it was. I'm thinking it was a face, but it could have been a weird-ass rock. Kind of reminded me of an electrical outlet. Everything just went dark and I was staring at the rock face, which was staring at me in turn. I was just stuck there in real time, staring at it for I guess around 20 minutes. Then it faded away. Jesus! After that, it was sort of fort-looking place. Lots of old-timey folk around with this trumpet emblem guy everywhere. I kept asking the people around me where I was, but they always just shuffle away. I followed this one fox lady with the big old blouse on around a corner, and suddenly I was in Echo again. The sky was wrong, but it was Echo. I walked into my house and saw the kitchen. Flynn, Carl, and you were there too. Adastra was on TV. There was this uneasiness in the air, because I was pissed off about the whole computer lab thing. I wanted to yell at you about it. Carl for grabbing me, Flynn for abandoning me, and the other me for not being the real me. The salamander rubs his smooth forehead some and seems to realize something. You didn't have a goatee either, which I thought was funny at the time. I remember saying something, I guess someone shaved your goatee after all. I reached out, pinching the excess scruff hanging below my chin. It was still there. You just seem confused about that. I'm confused about that now. Well, hold on. Flynn, Carl, and the other me just vanished at that point. I asked you where they went, and you told me they went outside to, and I quote, jerk each other off. Wow. You, only know Carl a day. That's a bit forward. Pfft, be quiet. You were completely different than the you from the computer lab. Older for sure. We sat down, drank beer, and I reminisced about the things I don't remember. I stopped feeling so uneasy and scared. It's like you melted away all the weird, bad shit that happened prior. It became a nighttime, and then you said you were sorry. I asked why you were sorry, and you hugged me. It was... Salamander presses his thumbs together, avoiding looking at me now. The realest thing I've ever felt in a dream. I could feel your heartbeat, the bristle of your fur, and the fabric of your shirt, and everything. He touches his own chest and slowly curls his hand into a fist before letting it fall back at his side. You told me that to forgive someone else is to release a prisoner, and discover that prisoner was you. You let go of me and began fiddling with something. I heard Flynn laughing and turned around to see him walking behind the door. Out of the corner of my eye, you began taking a bracelet off your wrist. You held it up in front of my face and... A bracelet? Daxton shifts. Yeah. Did it have a little metal anchor attached to it? I don't know. I couldn't really see it because, well, Flynn was there, but it wasn't a dream anymore. What? He had just gotten me home from the bar. Didn't say 2 words to me and beelined to his room. There was no bracelet. Of course, because I was wide frickin' awake. Guessing the laugh wasn't real either. It never felt like I was asleep in the first place, actually. But I'm left with the feelings of it all. Haven't you ever felt a dream about somebody and felt completely different about them afterwards? And I don't mean just like weird puberty sex dreams about your cousins or something like that. I furrow my brow some. Yeah, I guess. To the former. Are you saying that you feel that way about me now? I guess, hence why I'm talking to you. I go quiet for a second. I'm still not sure how to feel. Huh. I don't really know what to make of it, Daxton. I'm not really like the eclectic spiritual sort. Me neither. That's the thing. I mean, I owe a Dreamcatcher and a couple of new Age albums, but who doesn't? Hey, Brocactiono. Welcome on in. Yes, we are playing Echo again after, I think it was March. Yeah, I think it was March. We have not played Echo in a hot minute. We're only playing this now in December. Not TTS? I don't even know if this game has TTS. But even then, I think it would get really annoying listening to TTS. Amiote? No, absolutely not. How much do you remember? I remember that we are in this house because we went to go see the we went to go look up records of the history of Echo with Flynn. Um, we went to the bar with Flynn, and then we walked away, and now we are here, and now I am talking with Dexton. But we're gonna do another playthrough with Leo because I need him. I need Leo. You're going to say some dumb things on TTS, but Amio is totally right. No, he is absolutely incorrect. You both are stinky. I raise my paw. Daxton looks at me, slightly rolling his eyes. Didn't you say that yesterday you had something similar happen to you, though? When you passed out at our place? I paused, then nod. Must have been the fish cheese bread we ate. You thought it had a fishy taste too, right? I told Flynn not to put his catches in the damn freezer on top of the other food. Daxton sighs. I don't know, Chase. Talking to you about it seems like a better idea in my mind. I shake my head, waving my paw to the side. No, it's fine, really. I'm glad that I'm not the only one dealing with this sort of stuff for once. Didn't you already do Leo, though? Yeah, we did do Leo, but right now we have the option to talk with Daxton or Leo. We're doing Daxton right now first to see what's up, but then we're doing Leo because again, I need him, and his playthrough is canon. Okay. Oh shit. Ah, I fucked up my placement. Don't forget poutine. You have no choice but to accept the truth, but it's not the truth, unfortunately. So therefore, you are incorrect. Daxon purred slightly, looking me over. For once? Damn, I shouldn't have said anything. I hate trying to explain this. I drift my gaze to the cracked ceiling, staring at the hole where the brass chandelier once hung. I try to put on a nonchalant tone. I, have mental problems or something. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Daxon cock his head toward me. Smooth. Like sleep paralysis, lucid nightmares, that sort of thing. Sometimes I don't have any problems with them, but as of late, I don't know. I try to not think about it too much, otherwise I get all insomniatic. Man, that sucks. They all know about it. I gestured toward the backyard. I can faintly hear TJ chatting excitedly about something, with Jenna chiming in every now and then. This game doesn't really have any established canon on any of the choices. Yeah, I know, but for me, like Daddy Leo, he is canon to me, okay? I, I, I am an imp. An imp for Leo, okay? At first, everyone thought I was making it all up to be special. When did you start getting them? I don't know, around my tween years? I used to get really bad nightmares around then. I watched some clown TV movie and it traumatized my F'd ass. F'd? Dyson looks over at me, seeming to realize the need for clarification. Tadpole. Oh, cute. Daxon sputters out a dismissive noise. I was not cute. Well, neither was I. I was kind of a shithead. Ha! Steal Leo before you can finish the plotline? No, fuck you, Dex. He's mine. He is my wolf, not yours. Takes me a second to register. I mean, regarding how I treated other people. Gotcha. I reach up trying to make my head fur lay flatter. Dax and meanwhile reaches into his pocket and checks his phone. Neither of us says anything for a while. I'm gonna head out, but thank you for listening and such. Oh yeah, no problem, man. You gonna go home and do some writing? I think I might. Either that or put some new age music. I'm sure Flynn loves that. What sort of music does Flynn like? I don't think he does. What? I don't think he listens to music, like, in general. Who doesn't like music? I shrug. Someone like Flynn, I guess. Makes sense to me. He shoves his phone back into his pocket, stepping forward. Hey, since chances are I probably won't see you again, I just wanted to say it was good meeting you. I find myself smiling in spite of the previous tone of the conversation. Likewise. Thanks for introducing me to Carl. Never had a rich friend before. You lived in Colville. How have you never had a rich friend? Hey, I didn't live in a ritzy tourist-packed part of it. Plus, I was homeschooled. Oh, well that explains a lot. Psh, shithead. He grinned some more. I could see the pink inside of his mouth. It's quite the contrast from the rest of him. I feel a bit better now. See you, Chase. Oh, what do we do? Shake his hand or hug him? That's the big question here. All I gotta do is tilt my head to the left and look sad and poof, mine. No, he's mine. He's mine. All I have to do is just blep and then boom. All I have to do is just give him a blep and then he's mine. No, we'll hug him. Why not? That make you cute? No, it wouldn't. It'd make me look dumb. Alright, self-fulfilling prophecy. Here it comes. Here, what come? Oh! I moved to embrace him with a bit more velocity than I initially intended, nearly sending the tall amphibian back against the wall. He lets out a bemused noise, patting my back. I returned the gesture before pulling away. Now, time to find Carl. With that, he turns and heads out towards the backyard. Looking around, I don't see any sign of Leo. In fact, his van's no longer out in front. I reach out into my pocket, filling my phone as a guilty sensation takes hold. I just know I'm probably getting a whole nother wave of passive-aggressive text messages that I don't want to deal with. At this point, I probably deserve it then. Oh, I probably deserve them. I read it wrong. I can't keep dodging him like this. I noticed something odd sitting on top of the water heater. Curious, I pick it up. Whoa! I never knew Mom framed this. I mean, it was just a shitty selfie I took my first day in Pueblo. I need to get around doing my next playthrough of this game. My memories are kind of blanking on specific shit like that. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't played this game since March, so I'm going to go in for a ride. Like, there's still some stuff that I do remember, like the main points of the story, but you know, some of the smaller stuff I might not remember. But friend dog is but, but friend dog is best as boyfriend though. Well, he's my boyfriend though. Find your own dog. For some reason, I thought not smiling and looking at the camera was a cool thing to do. I wonder if they forgot this during the move. Though it kinda sucks. I wouldn't be surprised if they left it on purpose. I haven't talked to them much lately. I should go. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put that slot right there. And I am going to go to my boy Leo because I wanted to talk to Leo. Your topic was depressing. No, you have Legoshi. Leo is mine. Leo is mine. If I don't see you again, it was good meeting you, Chase. I feel a swell of guilt build in my chest. Oh, leaving so soon? Yeah, I gotta take Carl home. I've been watching him out back and he's just been sitting by himself, not talking to anybody. I can relate. I frowned, but nodded understanding. I hear you. It was good meeting you too, Lieutenant Daxton. I managed to smile and he does as well, unfortunately. I'm not gonna say I'm beaming out. I'm just gonna walk away now. Of course. See ya. No, yes! Yes! Dex, he's mine! He is my wolf. The salamander waves at both of us, backstepping his way to the front door. I already played through all the routes two times. I forgot the significance of the Daxton conversation. I think it was like changing the way how you see people. I think that was the significance of that and the view of how he sees Chase. Because again, he did say that he went ahead and socked us in the computer lab that he didn't recognize. And for whatever reason he was angry, so we have that. No, Dex, he is mine. He is my wolf. You are a dog, he is a wolf. There are two different things. Feels wrong to have to be looking up at you. Like the natural order of the universe is messed up. If you say so, be my guest. Great. Leo quickly pushes himself away from the window, darting off around the house. Here we go. Leo steps into what looks like my old living room, his eyes on his phone. I raise an eyebrow toward him. Something up? Pops wants me in the shop and paid in an hour from now, even though it's my day off. What the hell? I guess labor laws don't apply when it's family? Yeah, fuck it. You know me, I'd choose to be spending time with you if it meant getting chewed out by my parentals any day. Maybe being a dog is simply more appealing? No, wolf is being more appealing. Wolves are clean, okay? Dogs are stinky. He shoves his phone into his pocket, smiling down at me all the while. He does enjoy the height difference, doesn't he? Something in the back of my mind seems to whisper, not as tall as Flynn, though I quickly shove that. Oh, wow! Leo peers around, touching the faded green wood paneling that surrounds the room. I remember the first time I was here, back during the Halloween of 2000. Your mom invited me over. I didn't speak a bit of English, and I had no damn costume, but your parents thought we were friends, so I got ushered in here. Dogs are clean and we do funny things to be entertaining. No, wolves do things that are clean and entertaining. Dogs just roll around in the mud and just go to trees and piss on them. Yeah, you heard me. Your mom cut up one of those old bed sheets and made me this ghost-looking outfit. Oh, jeez, I remember that. I threw a little tantrum because I apparently liked those sheets. Leo crosses his arms, grinning as he stares at a spot in the corner of the room. My Hispanic ass didn't know what the hell you guys were doing to me. I start snickering some. I thought it was a ritual or something to steal my soul. I don't know. That was right around the time I was learning about the devil and shit. It was just bad juju to me. All of it. I hear a train. Yep, there's usually a train in the back of Echo. Deploys his spitty stinky tea. Dex, I'm going to burn and rip and tear that tea. You stinky. See, this is why Leo chooses me over you. He makes a little motion of crossing himself. Leo's a complete atheist nowadays, but he still has that whole culture of Catholicism ingrained in him. Oh my god, I need to find some pictures of us from back then sometimes. I had the biggest buck teeth, so I wanted to be a rabbit. I was too young to understand the specious implications of that idea. Leo chuckles hardly, kicking an errant piece of wood out of the way. What did you end up being? I forgot. I think I was a knight? Or wizard? That might have been 2001. Oh man, 2001. Everybody around was a soldier or commando that year because of the whole terrorist stuff. And I dressed up as a pizza! Leo laughs, wagging his finger at me and nodding. A pizza. Oh my god. I want him? Chat, how do I rip Leo from the game and bring him to the real world? Cause like, I love him. Leo is an ideal wolf, okay? He is a big goof, he's dumb like me, and he bleps. What more could you want? No, because he'd think it'd be funny because it showed support for you. Already did. No. He would beat you up, Dex. He'd beat you up. Still can't believe it for 9/11. Wait. Oh shit, yeah, you're right. They did reference that. Huh. I still just be a snuggly? A snuggly stinky dog, I know. You kept falling over. I didn't fall over, Chula. I just kept getting pushed around over by Leo's cheery demeanor sombers some as he exhales. I remember who kept pushing him over well. We're quiet for a time, Leo wiping some dust off the bottoms of his feet. I'd offer you a seat if this place still had furniture. He waves dismissively at the offer before beginning to wring his paws together. It was always really obvious when Leo was tense or nervous growing up. His shoulders would be raised up high and his tail had a slight curl to it. Right now, he looks just like that. Leo opens his mouth as if to say something, but he doesn't. Instead, he just turns, looking back towards that corner. Leo, is everything alright? What happened to you, Chase? The question takes me off guard. I was expecting the worst, but the general nature of it has me confused. What? He turns, looking over his shoulder. Why are you doing this? Did I do something? Serious like, Otter, tell me now, please. I don't understand. You haven't done anything wrong. Besides bust into Flynn's place and assault him, of course. I'll keep that to myself for now. I know what you're doing, and you know I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb, you know. I know I'm not. Everything that we've had problems with in the past was because of miscommunication shit. Nothing I say is as smart as Jenna and TJ or funny as Carl and Flynn. I gotta translate everything in my head, so it's just slower. Talking to me is hard, yeah. I get that. Just fucking try for me, please. Honest, like, too. He looks at me, his chest rising and falling with some quickened pace. I slowly step to the side, resting my back against the wall and sliding down into a sitting position. I sit crisscrossed and stare at the gap between my legs. You're not hard to talk with. I am. Chase, just say it. Without thinking, I do. Oh god, no! Don't say that! We're not on the best of terms right now, Leo. I hear Leo take a step forward and stop. Okay. He takes a deep breath. So have I... Yeah. That's not the end of the world. What? Despite everything, despite my actions, it sort of feels like I was just hit in the gut. But when? After you left for college, I swear on my neck. I was swooping now to steal. No! No! Dex, you stay back. I will bite you if you even touch him. He is mine. Leo is my wolf, okay? Find your own wolf. Find your own. I let out a big breath of air, feeling like a hypocrite. A silence falls between us. It feels like Leo is practically leering over me, but I can't muster the courage to look up. Have you had others? Yes, but nothing ever felt the same as, you know. I'm not like Flynn. I can't go to that place outside of town and just let loose. You know, I tried that and it just felt so wrong and fucked up. It's not the same. What's the point of doing that shit if it's not someone with your love, you know? And I'm not talking about the whole cultural religious mierda where you gotta marry all that. Because I know how Flynn ticks and I know how I tick. It's completely different, yeah? I hear the floorboards creak beneath his feet, the wolf shifting his weight from foot to foot. I just thought you were like me in that sort of way. For Flynn, this is nothing. It's just another notch on the wall. Yeah, Torgar, you gotta relax, buddy. Damn, I forgot how to delete those messages. Oh well. I forgot how to do them. I crossed my arms over my chest tightly, feeling cold sweat on my neck. You show up for the first time in years, and it's like you don't want nothing to do with me. No! I get it, you know. I'm good at sports stuff and car stuff, and none of you gave a shit about any of that. And that was just fine. Just roll your eyes at Leo. I just liked having my friends around. All of them, but especially you. Want me to mod? Yeah, hold on. I'll mod you as Sonic. Shit, it's been like such a long time that like... Holy crap. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I gotta look this up real quick. Oh, it was that simple. Hold on. Okay. I am back, and I have two dogs with me in the room right now. So if you hear any weird noises in the back, then I apologize. Yeah. So let's continue on. Sit. Poor Leo's just contemplating sad things as you do your thing. Listen, I am sorry, okay? Listen. I have... Listen, I haven't clicked start yet, so we still have time. Another pause. You are... well, you are like family. Hell, you can't just flick a switch and stop being family growing up with the shit that we dealt with. Leo, you've got your real family. And you know what they always ask about? You. Well, you've got Flynn and Carl still. Flynn's... You know how Flynn is. And Carl, he's not doing too hot. I don't know how long that he'll last. Long he'll last? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know, Otter. Just look at him sometime. Really, look at him and his whole... Leo trails off into a long sigh. At least I sent a hug emoji. Listen, I will give Leo the biggest hugs right now, okay? I will give him the biggest hugs. You all left and it was never the same. This game is Echo, Torgar. Do it, butthead? Bet. Bet. I will hug him right now. You know what? Here. I'm hugging my screen. There. I'm hugging my screen and I'm hugging my Leo. There. You happy now? You're the butthead. You're the butthead, Dex. I pretend. I remember all the stuff you used to say, even the naggy bits. I imagine you're just there with me at work, talking to me while I'm fixing cars. I pretend that I'm teaching you about the basics, like changing oil, replacing headlights. I know it's not riveting stuff, but it's all good because you love me and I love you too. Then I drive home listening to whatever's on the radio and imagine you reacting to it. Made you hug your screen. I will hug my screen if Leo is there, okay? Computer Tech, hey! How's it going, buddy? Welcome on in, the blep welcomes you. Good guy Leo, yes. Good guy Leo. My himbo Leo. I'm the best word shit disturber. You're a butt, Dex. You are simply a butt. Groaning every time the word truck is mentioned in a country song or making some snide-ass remark at the political ads. When I get home, I go online and there's this pulling in my chest like a dread, you know? I click on the social media shit and it's you. The real you. And you're different. You're wearing new shirts, hanging with new friends, drinking fancy college beers. It just feels like I'm losing you all over again. So I just avoid it. I pretend. I pretend that we're drinking together on the patio as the sun goes down. Pretend that you're watching me play my games, and I pretend at night that until I've got my arms wrapped around his... Oh man, dude. I did not expect to go into the stream crying for Leo again. It can get romantically involved with someone the day he sees a therapist. No, I want my Leo here. I want my boy here. Leo's perfect the way he is. He is perfect the way he is, and there's nothing that he has to change. Have you played Adastra? I have not played Adastra yet, but I cannot play that one on stream, as I have seen a couple of stills. Making your little irk noises when I ruffle your head for a squeeze you. What are you guys doing? Hey, don't eat that. That's my cord. Don't eat that. Not everything you see is food, okay? Sorry, I had to yell at my... One of my dogs thinks that everything is food, so she'll go around and try to eat everything. I'm not even kidding. She has eaten a bee off the ground before. It was so disgusting. The whole game just went over his head. Listen, I'm sorry, okay? Feed your dogs that they're telling you they're... No, okay, Torgar, look. One of my dogs, she will literally eat everything whenever. Like, I feed them on a schedule. Like, for God's sake, I feed them chicken. I feed them cut chicken every day. Because they don't eat anything else. Dogs had other plans, yep. But you know what? It's okay. Because as long as they don't piss in my room, then I am fine. He's far from perfect from everything we've seen. No! Leo is perfect the way he is. He doesn't have to change a single thing. Leo chuckles bittersweetly, the gravity of his words seeming to take hold of now that he's actually said them out loud. Jesus, Leo. A week ago you showed up outside my window. The sky was red and you said, hey. The sky was red! He's having those lucid dreams. What are you talking about? Why were you there, Chase? His tone is strange, almost without inflection. Leo, I don't know what you mean. I wasn't here last week. Next thing I know, he's stepping closer towards me. He stops and I lower myself to a sitting position against the wall. The wolf's arms stretch around my torso and pull me against his side. Excuse me. Of course I'm gonna hug him. How could I not hug him? I've hugged Leo more times in my life than I could ever count. I don't think he's ever needed one as much as he does now. I embrace him, letting his head rest against my shoulder. He puts more weight on me and I have to prop myself up to keep from falling over. He's so heavy now. With how rough this week has begun to turn, I kinda need this a little too. Cute? Yes, Leo is cute. Yes. Yes, the himbo boy Leo is cute. I hear him clearing his throat. Things are great here, Chula. I was trying to act like they were, but you know now? I just know if you were here, I could protect you and things would be better. Leo, that might not be true and I don't need protecting. Leo says nothing. The minutes pass. I can hear TJ talking excitedly about something out in the backyard. Okay, that's similar dialogue. Finally, Leo pulls back. He looks at me as if he was about to ask a question, but seemingly decides he doesn't want to know the answer. Wait, your dogs say otherwise. I can imagine you coming home and you find your cords chewed up. See, look, okay, so my dogs are outside dogs, okay? They were born as outside dogs, and we're trying to bring them inside, but they're not potty trained, right? They've been outside dogs their whole life. So one of them is 5 and one of them is 2. I think she's 2.5 now, or she might be 3. We don't know because they're rescues from a family member, so we don't have any details about them. But they do not do potty training very well. Like, we even had like those little doggy mats out, and they just tore them up like it was paper. So we've been trying to bring them inside, and since it's been getting a bit colder, then why are they in the house? Whoa, good question. Because it is 58 degrees outside, and despite them having a doghouse outside, every time I go out to the living room, they peep in through one of the glass doors that we have to go outside to my backyard, and they give me this sad pup look. They gave me this sad pup look, and it's like the saddest thing ever. Like, the next time whenever they do that, I will take a picture for you guys, and I will send it to show what it looks like. That's t-shirt weather, but they're dogs, Dex, and they don't want anything to do with outside. They want to stay inside. But even if they do, then I have to watch them to make sure that they don't shit or piss on the floors. And most of our house is carpet. So, without further ado, let's get back into this before I start rambling on about my dogs. So, this is pretty something, yeah? I rub my paw against my forehead. Sit. Oh, I already read that. Not as pretty something as your fake me pillow you sleep with at night. I expect Leo to laugh at that, but he just peers at me with this sort of melancholy smile. Yeah, he pushes himself to his feet, dusting at the back of his pants. Let me know if you need help with the project or anything. I'll be around. Okay, but hey. His tail perks up some, the wolf turning to look down at me. You should see somebody. I mean, about what you just told me. It never worked for you, Otter. I sigh. Yeah, but, you know, it could work for you. Leo shrugs. Maybe. I'll see you later. Oh, that makes sense because in Leo's route he did see a therapist, and it does work. He gives me this best reassuring smile before heading outward, running his paws along the walls as he leaves. After a while, I stand as well. I notice something odd. Oh, is this the same thing? Oh my god! Oh my god, look at him! Look at them! Holy shit, I just expected it to be. This is from high school, I think, senior year. She always wanted a picture of the two of us. I always thought it was kind of weird how okay my parents were with us being together. I remember after they found out I was gay, I thought that things would be ruined and I wouldn't be. I don't know, normal. And they sent me a voicemail saying that they loved me and it didn't really matter. Your happiness is priority number one. If every parent could be like that, that would like be the best thing ever. I wonder if they forgot this during the move. Though it's kind of a weird picture. I wouldn't be surprised if they left it on purpose. I haven't talked to them. Okay. That picture has 3 variants? Interesting. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna save for that slot there. Leo would have the shirt on if he didn't. Really? Holy shit, okay. I think off stream I'll have to check that out. That's actually really cool. That's really cool that like it could have like all those different variants with however decision that you pick with. Wait, I didn't. See, I don't do English well, okay? The air is kind of hazy and the smell of hot dogs is pretty palpable. I look over across the yard. TJ and Jenna are still sitting at the table. TJ is munching down on his third helping of cut up hot dogs, while Jenna sits up at the top feet of her. What the? Sits up with her top. What? While Jenna sits up top with her feet hanging off the side. It's kind of funny how small she is, like she never grew up past the age of 13. My mind drifts back to the other Fennecs of the smoke room. They all kind of had that youthful appearance to them. Do you not speak English? I'm Asian, what do you expect? I wonder if that's a part of the appeal. I'm surprised you were so comfortable walking around in there. I glance over my shoulder, looking back at the weather-worn house. Huh? Why? The spiders? You're still afraid of them, right? I'd been trying to not think about that the whole time, actually. I felt like there were lots of them in the house even when I lived in there, and that was with my parents bug bombing the place every month. Whoa! What in the... Scythe with a party of 9 with some sins I see. Oh my god, y'all are sinning. The Hero Beast V1, welcome on in. The Blep welcomes you. How's it going? Let's see, what were you playing? You were just chatting? What were you just chatting about, Scythe? You stinky. Oh my god, look at how many sins are in this chat right now. What in the heck? Let's see. How many people do I have to start bapping in here tonight? But to all the raiders that came in from Scythe's side, welcome on in. My name is Spitfire. I'm an absolute idiot. Um, I've been slowly getting back into streaming because I'm out of my first semester of college, so therefore I can start streaming again. So, and this is also our playthrough of Echo tonight, which we have not played since March, and I feel really bad about that. But I do a little bit of everything. I'm also a DJ. I've DJ'd for Ferality, Misha's Vibe Night, I Wait, and a couple of other online events. So if you like that, then by all means, We're gonna get along just fine. Hope you enjoy your stay. Real life junk and watching YouTube videos. Brain is in a funky place, so I wasn't in the mood to play anything. Oh, that's fair. I am not cute, and I never will be. But yeah, well, come on in, everybody. Hope you enjoy, and let's get back to our adventure of Echo. I resist the urge to reach down and rub my feet, in case there weren't any walking around in my fur. Oh, Cuffso, welcome on in. The blood welcomes you. That's what the cute. No, no, I am not cute, and I never will be. If you want a cute wolf, go to Scythe. Scythe is the cute wolf. What sign in the world? I don't remember any sign in the world. Not like deathly. I cross my arms over my chest, tugging at some of the fabric of my shirt. Right, of course. TJ snickers some. Jenna pulls out her phone, beginning to tap away at the digital keypad. By the way, we found something else that might help you with your project. Oh? It's in my purse. Could you grab it? Sure. What is it? Jenna doesn't answer, continuing her texting. TJ, meanwhile, seems to be grinning at his empty ketchup-covered plate. I joined from one cutie bean to another, Spitfire. No, I am not cute, and I am never will be. You keep taking it and hiding it? There was no such world. I don't know which world you're talking about. I'm surprised you're not at Floof. Okay, so I am making a New Year's DJ set, right? But I don't know what events are still like open for applications right now. Because from what I've heard, most of them are closed. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I mean, I wanted to end off the year with the DJ set, but I don't know where I'm gonna be playing it at. It's DJ World? I remember a DJ World, but I don't remember which one. I don't remember a sign being in there. Jenna? I move over to her purse, unbuttoning the main flap. I've always been a bit wary about going through girls' purses, for obvious reasons. The first thing I noticed, though, was a piece of folded paper with Chase written all in capital letters on the top. You're gonna go to Floof? Alrighty, buddy. I might see if I can join you later. But again, buddy, thanks for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. I really need to get my mix into those worlds. Yeah, I would love to, like, I'd love to. Um, I'm surprised that Virtual Furmix didn't reach out to you, Dex, because I recommended them to you. It looks like there was something wedged inside of it as well. Curious, I pull back the top of the paper and I feel something fuzzy against my paw pads, then a bristling sensation. Thin prodding things tickle the tips of my fingers, and I squeeze one and yank it up. Dangling before me is an orange and black tarantula. Oh my god. Jesus fuck! I toss it down to the dirt, seeming to bounce it right back up and land sideways on my foot. I scramble back, kicking at it with as much force as I can muster. Oh shit! My chest heaves and I feel like my heart is about to burst from my chest. The tarantula doesn't move, and that's when I realize TJ and Jenna are grinning at me. Jenna has her phone pointed in my direction. Jesus, she's filming this. Language! It's just rubber, Chase. That! I pointed the limp, 8-legged thing that's not 3 yards away, stuck in a patch of goat brambles. That is not funny. It is, actually. Oh, I'm sorry, Chase. It was Jenna's idea. It was 99 cents at that gas station we stopped at back in Two Canyons. Ugh, no wonder you two wouldn't let me see what you bought. Did you guys actually have anything for me? I mean, regarding my project? TJ begins to look even more guilty. Jenna sets her phone down and goes about reclapsing her purse. Not really, Chase. As you said, there wasn't much information about the 1877 happening. Most search results directed us toward dubious ghost hunting websites, no source veracity that could be utilized in a formal report. Oh, well... Huh, really? Yeah, I recommended them to you. I asked them to look up Hyperion, too. A buddy of mine, Bino, he's usually the one that, well, he's one of the main coordinators and the VJ there. Oh, Oh, you want belly rubs? Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't reach out to you. But that's an event that's happening in January, and I have to finish that before New Year's. Maybe someday? Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Because I would like to share a stage with you. I won't be here in January? Oh, yeah, that's fair. I'll see if I can find anything for you, buddy. Was there anything that could be used in a non-formal report? I'll be in Radioland? Gotcha. Being a radio dog is hard. And it's busy work. The Fennec cocks her head, her eyes seemingly to look right through me, she thinks, before meeting my gaze once again. Huh. What do you want to know more about? The UFO spotted over Echo Canyon by a group of night hikers? The Mesta ghost woman who wanders along the edges of the res, seducing men before impaling them on the branches of mesquite trees? Or perhaps the Mothman who now apparently has been seen driving a semi-truck down the Route 93 at midnight? Maybe he needed a side job? The economy's been tough lately. I let out an exasperated noise. Okay, I get your point. Although there were lots of mentions of the riots here. That includes the happenings in 1915 as well as some of the other unsourced stuff about violence after World War II. Just a general perception that we were all a bunch of desert malcontents living in some sort of Sodom and Gomorrah style situation for a century. I get to go snowboarding for pay? Ah, gotcha. That sounds about right. We even had a famous brothel that served all the miners in the area. A brothel? I look at TJ, who's frowning acknowledgingly. Does he really not know? It's a place where they make broth and other types of soup. I I know what a brothel is. Jenna merely smirks and shakes her head. It was called the smoke room. Oh, oh, we've been there. We've been to the smoke room. Chase, is something wrong? The smoke room. Yeah, that still exists. I was there last night. You went to a brothel last night. Jenna says this less as a question, more of a deadpan matter of fact. What? No, no, no. It was this bar that Flynn went to. It's right by the casino. There's no sign of it for anything. It's like some sort of gay bar. A gay bar in this county. At least that's what it seemed like it was. I shrugged, trying to phrase this as carefully as I can without going too much into details. Everything smelled like cigarettes, and there was this really shady back room they called the smoke room. That's... Jenna presses her knuckle towards her lower lip, seemingly in thought. Every time RTX GeForce wants to update. Yeah, I get that. But it's usually better to just update it anyway. She glances up me toward after a moment. Interesting. With that look, I regret bringing it up already. Jenna seems to be maintaining the sort of intrigued expression. I begin bracing for any follow-up questions. What sort of music did they play there? Surprisingly, TJ is the first to speak. I don't see any sign of judgment in his face either, just genuine curiosity. Oh, it was kind of weird actually. It was this sort of drony, bassy synth stuff. Really? Yeah, never heard anything like it. It was kind of loud too. I'm not sure why you're asking. It's TJ's turn to shrug. Just curious. So, you went to a gay bar with Flynn named after an old famous brothel? I exhale, resting my paws on the edge of the table. It's not like that. Like what? Daxton, Carl, and I followed him after he left us in the middle, hanging out last night. But he sort of won't. I think he was trying to invite me to go along with him in his own sort of way. He left his phone behind with just one text message on it with the address. I think he wanted to see if I was interested enough to snoop through his phone instead of outright inviting me. It's hard to explain. Oh no, I understand completely. That sounds quite like Flynn. Very non-committal, and giving himself something that he can hold against you, if need be, to protect himself from having any semblance of vulnerability. Jenna rubs the bridge of her small nose, still seemingly frustrated with Flynn's behavior. She reaches down, picking up a paper plate from beside her and shoving it in a plastic bag. Well, I'm ready to head back to the motel. Chase, you coming? Oh, sure. TJ begins cleaning up as well, moving to drag the picnic table back to the appropriate yard, and I help. I sit cross-legged on the edge of the bed with a notebook in my lap. I'm sort of half planning out my script and half kicking myself for not doing a lot of this preliminary stuff either. I'm also kicking myself for not getting any scans of the photos and documents I found at City Hall. The B-roll I've got doesn't quite cut it. Having actual historical papers with pictures of Echo inhabitants that aren't available online might look good for my portfolio. At least, that's what Jenna said. Dissecting TJ's intentions and personality is one of the main motives to play this shit again. Scenes like that are weird. Yeah, that did seem kind of out of character for him. Because we all know how that scene with Chase and TJ went, so that is a little weird that he brought it up, come to think of it. I kind of doubt that they were open on Saturday, so I'd have to talk to Flynn. And Flynn still wants me to assist him with his whole interrogation he has planned, or at least stay out of the way. For now, I just want to focus on my project. Currently, Jenna is tapping away at her laptop on her side of the room, although she seems more distracted than she was at the beginning of this trip. TJ has the TV on just behind the album rock music history show he's pretty engrossed in from the looks of it. He lays beside me, his back propped up by pillows. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't dig into my carpet. Don't be digging into my carpet. Sorry about that. One of my dogs was digging into my carpet, as you might have heard me yell at her. After a few more scribblings for my outro, I toss aside my notebook and slink over to the other side of the room. I take a few packets of the candy egg oatmeal that we've got, about 20 of them, and empty them into one of the complimentary styrofoam bowls on the table. Styrofoam? Wait, styrofoam? I know it's for kids, but I've always kind of liked this stuff. I'm a sucker for anything that's bland as hell with the tiniest bit of sweet add-ins, like oat bran cereal with dehydrated marshmallow bits. I fill the bowl with water, about a centimeter higher than the top of oatmeal. A little bit of maple cinnamon dust rises from the mixture. I need an excuse to read Flynn's route again. I love this route so much. Yeah, I'm pretty intrigued in this. I forgot how much I loved Echo, dude. Like, wow. I can't believe that it's been so long since I've played this game. Hopefully this pack isn't too old. I didn't check the expiration date before grabbing it for my dorm room. I bring the mixture to the microwave and set it for 1 minute. On the TV, some raccoon is talking about how their music videos went viral back in 2006, and how the fame went to his bandmate's head. It's weird to think that 2006 was nearly 10 years ago at this point. I remember watching shows like this with my mom as a kid. They were always about the hair metal bands from the 80s and 90s. Each episode was full of grainy old pack film photographs of the alleged happier days of the Focus superstar. It has me thinking about how much stuff like that there is from my childhood. Let them dig, I think they... No! There's nothing underneath my carpet. You know what's underneath my carpet? Just cement. That's what you'll find. Cement. There's nearly a gig of video lives on my old laptop, ranging from home movies, machinima, to class projects I did with the group. Plus, all of my social media posts are still there. It's not like those days were faded memories on a separate photo roll picture. They're right there, full 1024 by 768 aspect ratio, a few clicks away. Maybe that's why I don't think about Echo with as much nostalgia as someone like TJ, or, well, Leo for sure. Speaking of, I checked my phone a little while ago. He hasn't texted me. The microwave beeps and I take the oatmeal out. The directions say to leave it out for 2 to 2.5 minutes. But that always seems like overkill. I like it a bit soupy. I'm gonna take a shower. You guys want anything? I blink. What? TJ stares blankly at us. Do we want anything? From the shower? Jenna, after a couple of seconds, looks up from her laptop at the links. TJ? He looks as if he's come to the realization that quickly covers his face with his paw. God, I forgot to set... I said the second part. I shift awkwardly, a bowl of oatmeal in my paw. I didn't get much sleep last night. Jenna sighs. It's okay, neither did I. I didn't wake you guys when I got in, did I? I hope to hell they didn't see me slink in with a cum-covered shirt, that's for sure. Jenna gives me a sidelong look that I can't quite describe, and that makes me even more worried. No? Phew. We were already pretty much awake. Shit. That man shouting in the parking lot was making me uneasy. Uh-huh. I didn't hear any of that. Jenna lowers the top of her laptop some, though not closing it all the way. We started a while before midnight. You hadn't arrived yet. It sounded like he was walking all around the motel. He even screamed at our window. Was he yelling anything specific? No, he was just shouting. I heard a few words here and there, but never like any fully sentences or anything. It just sounded really, really mad. Or sad. TJ pauses, looking at the bowl I'm holding. Oops. Or scared. I don't know. Part of me is kind of worried to call Leo. I wanted me to call Leo. I can't help but smile a little at that. Really? Wow. I didn't actually. Leo the protector. I can't believe after all this time, TJ still sees Leo that way. I actually called the police. They said they sent a patrol car, but I never saw one show up. He eventually left, a little before you showed up actually. Feels like everyone's on drugs in this town now. Now? Jenna retorts, looking back at me with a raised brow. Well, I mean, it wasn't always this strange, was it? Even back growing up, I'd still wager that at least a third of the population was on heroin or worse. It comes with the territory. But I will say, I do somewhat agree with you. I could depopulate it by around 100 people since I was born. That in itself is the other 2/3 of the population. Those that remain didn't have the same level general township community we once had. What little that was. TJ nods, rubbing at his wrists and looking towards the drape-covered window facing the parking lot. I remember when we used to have our own grocery store. Oh, speaking of, we ate at the diner after the hike yesterday. Julian works there now as a busboy. You remember him, right? I think for a moment. Was he the green reptile kid who peed himself at the AP Lit? TJ looks a little aghast. What? No! Then I don't know him. That was Cody. Wait, the Cody you dated? Jenna makes a slightly disgusted noise, shaking her head. Ugh, you're thinking of upstate Cody. I never got to meet him. Yeah, well, Jenna lets out a little puff of air, pushing her laptop screen again, typing something. Neither did I. She stops for a moment, turning to look at me. May I have some of that? My oatmeal? Oh, sure. Hand her the still warm styrofoam bowl with a spoon. Damn it, I wanted that. And of course she's digging out all the sugar dinosaur eggs first. So right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Julian was telling us that the diner will probably end up closing down at the end of this year. Maybe next if they're lucky. It's like the last business in town besides the motel. The last legitimate business, you mean? I see Jenna nod before taking another bite of my oatmeal. It's no wonder then that people still act weird. Even Leo, Carl, and definitely Flynn are different. Did you guys see Janice again after what happened on the road? TJ nods uneasily, the lynx beginning to busy himself gathering up a fresh set of clothes. I asked her if she was okay or needed any help, but she was fine. Great even. She looked really bad. TJ picks up some red pajama pants that have faded little Christmas ornament symbols stitched around the bottoms, and pine tree decals on the waist. He also lets out a bit more discreetly grabs a pair of bright red underwear and quickly hides them in folds of the pants. I wonder if he's matching the two intentionally. And I don't mean like ugly, I mean she was kind of grimy and smelled like raw meat. I forgot Jillian gets mentioned outside of TJ's room. Yeah, that was also pretty surprising because I think we only saw Julian and TJ's route for a really short time. Like we didn't really get to see him much. She was definitely onto something, TJ. I hope not. TJ turns, shuffling himself into the bathroom. The door shuts. You know, Jenna sips up some. I think it was Clint. Jenna's speaking up to me, but her eyes are on her laptop. Huh? The man outside that was screaming? At first I thought he had Jeremy with him, and God, just the thought of that makes me want to get out of this town and not look back. I don't blame you, but Clint? Judging from the popular television growing up, it seems like everyone alive has had a childhood bully, some with multiple. We had Clint and his little gang of assholes, Jeremy, Micah, hell even Heather sometimes. The thing is that in a town of 50 people, escaping your bullies is near impossible. They're everywhere, they hate you, they hurt you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, until Leo did something about it. I still remember the squelching noises Clint made as Leo hit him over and over again outside of his town trailer. Leo didn't speak any English, and they were all a couple of years older than us, but that didn't stop him. I don't know how things would have turned out if he never moved here. The voice, it had a certain cadence to it that it reminded me of him. Huh. I resigned myself to the notion that Jenna has eaten all my oatmeal at this point. Moving over to the microwave, I grabbed another styrofoam bowl and a couple more packets. I can already tell there's not going to be enough left to really be satisfying. I'm assuming you haven't gone to see Jeremy and the rest of the family either then? No, and I doubt I ever will. By the way, how are you doing? I look over my shoulder. She seems to be deciding on a font for whatever she's typing away at. Catching my glance, she meets my gaze for a moment. And I don't just mean in general, like any sleep issues? And of course she changes the topic just like that. Sleep issues, as she calls them for my sake. I pour some water in the oatmeal. No paralysis, just sort of strange, really lucid dreams. I think my subconsciousness wants me to shave off my goatee. This may be the one time that you should listen to the voices in your head. I make a growling noise that comes out a lot less intimidating than I had intended. Jenna doesn't look up. Well, what are the dreams like? I let out a long exhale, placing the oatmeal in the microwave. I don't know, I think I'm just tired and it's mixing badly with my current mental state. I've been kind of crawling in my skin since I got here. I saw a face behind someone's shoulder that wasn't really there last night. It wasn't even something I thought about much at the time. I was already upset, but the more I dwell on it... I don't know. I shrug, waving dismissively. When I look at Jenna again, I can see the fur on her neck has lifted a little. It was probably just the angle, though. You alright? Jenna looks back, and I can tell she's debating whether or not to tell me something. I wait. It just made me think about when I was a kid. I haven't thought about it for years, actually. I pause. Do you want to talk about it? I'm worried that I'm about to open up a can of worms. It wasn't traumatizing or anything like that. Well, it was actually, but it wasn't real. Did you see a face? Yeah, it was a reddish color. Flat, too. Whoa. Yeah, it had a body as well. Can't exactly remember exactly what it was like. Did you dream it? No, not really a dream. At least not in the sense that I was asleep when it happened. I just see it walking around in broad daylight sometimes. The hell? Are these things like real solid memories? Like it really happened? I don't know. It usually happened when I was sad or angry, like when Dad was having one of his moments. You mentioning that you saw something while you were upset reminded me of it. I just see it walk past a doorway or sit in a closet. Really? The fuck? This was a long time ago, like when I was 5. I didn't want you thinking I'm crazy, Chase. I don't. I saw things too as a kid. I mean, more things. Yeah, I think you filled me. I've had, and it's something I really don't want to think about right now. I'm pretty sure it's just something my mind made up because I was under a lot of stress. The brain can make up things whenever it wants, really. It's part of the reason why I went into the field that I did. I want to help figure these things out. Do you see it anymore, at all? She's quiet for a while, then shakes her head. No. Oh. Oh, we're immediately going into Saturday. Stand up against the turnbuckle, holding my arms high above my head and flickering my strong tail behind me. I hear a lot of boos in the crowd, but that's just how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that cut me off guard, like, real quickly. But that was also a very good transition. I have not seen one like that. I'm a bad guy, or Rudo as they call it here. I'm not actually a bad guy for real though, it's just an act. The flashing of cameras is a little distracting, but nothing I can't handle. I'm good at keeping my cool. I reach up making sure my mask is secure, even my muzzle is covered. Can't risk my identity being revealed. Especially in a match against Tiger Santos. He's one of the technicals, the good guys, real goody tissues. Sorry about that. I don't trust him. He's too good. I don't trust other people that are too good. They're always hiding something. The announcer shouts in a foreign language that I don't understand and I growl, flexing my giant muscles towards nobody in particular. Tiger has been staring at me from across the room this whole time. No showboating, though. That's not his character. At like 7.5 feet tall, I'm totally bigger than him. He's only 5'6", so I could basically eat him for breakfast. The crowds always cheer for the smaller guy, though. I don't. Small guys can be just as bad as the big guys. Maybe even worse. I look to the crowd. It's like a couple thousand people here, which is a lot. Sometimes I wish I could just tell them all the truth. The bell rings. It's time. Hey! Dad yells from the kitchen. Oh, hold on. Or never mind. I flinch, and it feels like my stomach is suddenly tied in a knot. Not now, please. Dad walks in. He's wearing all camouflage with an undersized scout cap that seems to squeeze his head. What are you doing? I look down at my feet and pick up some of the fibers of the rug. I don't respond. I hear him step in front of me. The crowd chanting on the TV catches his attention, and he stops. You know you can't be watching this. And you also know what today is. You're still in your pajamas, watching this... Dad lets out a noise that I can't really describe. I look up and he's pointing at the TV. He stands there watching for a moment. What is he doing to that other man? A reverse suplex? Oh, suplex. And this is fun for you? You enjoy watching this? I don't know. It's just on. I lie. Dad looks down at me and I can't tell whether he believes me or not. When I say something, you need to listen. Last night I told you to be dressed in the clothes I gave you, to be ready to go by 5. It's over 15 past 5 and you're not even dressed. I'm sorry, okay? Dad sighs, stepping out of the room. His footsteps are heavy, like he doesn't care that Mom and my brothers are still trying to sleep. Next thing I know, he's back in the living room. He tosses another camouflage outfit in my lap and he sets a rifle on the couch. When your mother and I talked about sending you up north to your uncle, we were not joking. Where is this going, Dad? He points again to the TV. And there is certainly no television up there. No violent video games, and no adults that tolerate this sort of behavior. I ball my paws up into fists, pushing them into my stomach. Don't say anything. Anytime you say anything, it makes it worse. Dad looks at my paws and lets out a strained, amused-sounding grunt. What? Are you gonna hit me? Do you want to punch me now? Is that what you were learning? Again, he's pointing at the TV. His eyeballs are bulging and his mouth is hanging wide open. The way his hat tugs his head makes him look different. Scrunching his features, I don't know why he's wearing it. It looks uncomfortable. I'm so sick of your behavior. We are all so sick of your behavior. I feel my breathing start to get shaky. Don't cry. Don't give him the satisfaction. Are you sick? He just keeps staring at me, that same expression on his face. I drop Tiger's torso on my knee, a backbreaker. The crowd roars. I'm gritted beneath my mask, playing up the part for all the jeering and the hatred. They may love to hate me, but that's still love. Tiger had been getting a lot of good blows though, actual blows. His stiff arms like nobody's business. I'm a little bloody, but that's okay. I'm tough. That's my thing. Tough. I'm really tough. But so is Tiger. He's small, so he's got a lot of finesse, and they can dodge a lot of my stuff. I climb over the top rope and to the floor mat below. They always keep a few goodies beneath the ring for people like me. Pulling the flap up, I find a pile of long-wooded staves. These could cause some pain. I yell out to the crowd and they boo in response. They're really, really mad. Tiger's still growing, prone on his belly. As I approach, he mutters something in his native tongue that sounds like a bunch of cuss words. Not so good after all, I guess. Time to get revenge for all the stiff hits from earlier. With a mighty heave, I bring the staff down into Tiger's back. It practically bounces and the lady fan of Tiger in the crowd screams. Realizing how hard I'm hitting him, he quickly scrambles up to his knees. But I just hit him right back down. That's what you get. His shoulders twitches and he quickly clutches it with his free hand, rolling on his stomach. More curses. I hit him again, this time in the soft spot of his stomach. There's no referee to help him now. I hear him gasp, holding up his paw in front of him, trying to protect himself. This time I hit him in his crotch. Not that there's much to hit. Jesus! He has a little penis and balls because he's so small. Mine are huge, of course. I have to wear like a super big cup so that things don't flop around. I drop down on top of him, grabbing him by the scruff of his spandex leotard. whimpers beneath me, his black and orange tail coiled inward between his legs. I lowered my voice, speaking in a deep, raspy tone. Don't stiff-arm me like that again, or else, Tango Santos. I think he quivers on an I won't. He's probably so humiliated right now. His eyes are like saucers, looking at me, wailing, see what I do next. They're completely at my mercy and everything. I bet he'd really be humiliated if I, unmasked him. And then I pull him up and hug him in front of everybody. He'd be so ashamed. I'd show them that I'm the real good guy. Maybe he'd like that and feel bad. That's fine too. I place my thumbs beneath the bottom of his mask and pull up. Dad's gunshot rings out so loud it seems to shake the leaves off the trees nearby. Some kind of bird falls from the sky. I think it's a dove because it's all white and stuff. Or at least, it was white. What was that about? What was that? I actually saw pink mist when the bird shot hit it, like in the movies. The rest of the flock keeps flying as if nothing had happened. Dad looks over his shoulder toward me, his breathing heavy. I can see little wisps of fog as he exhales. It's that cold. It takes him a while to actually speak. Whoa. You see that? Yeah. He smiles tightly. I got him! He did. I'm gonna go grab the carcass. You stay put, alright? Okay. Dad turns back, jogging across the doughy grass towards where the bird fell. I adjust myself and lean against the nearby tree. I wish I was home. My friends are still probably sleeping in, enjoying their warm heated houses and all that. I can't focus here. It sucks, but Dad really wanted to go bird hunting. I asked him yesterday why he couldn't just do it alone, and he and Mom got really mad. I don't know what sets them off anymore. Just could be the littlest thing and suddenly everything's all shitty. My rifle is kinda neat, I guess. It's a 22mm. I played a zombie shooting game at Chase's place that had the exact same kind in it. It's really, really loud though. Dad made me wear these big ear protectors, but it's still super intense. I swivel it around my arms before bringing the butt up to my shoulder, looking down at the sights. I pretend the bush that I'm aiming at is a zombie. I could survive a zombie apocalypse pretty well, probably. There wouldn't be many zombies in Echo, and nearly everyone in town has guns. I just go to Carl's house. It's already like a fortress and he has tons of food and games. We'd be set. I hear Dad's footsteps and quickly lower the rifle. That's right, keep that down. He holds a pretty messed up looking bird. Its neck is half missing and blood still drips from the hole there. Wait, is he holding it? Oh no. Okay, I thought he was holding it beneath the text. You've never eaten dove, have you? No? It's like chicken, but stringier. I raise an eyebrow. Like string cheese, but chicken? Not exactly, but, well, you just have to try it. Okay. Now, let's see if we can shoot something. Are we in, what was it? Are we in... I'm trying to think now. Cause that character that's shown as like as the dad, very looks like Sydney. That's who he is, Sydney. Are we in Sydney's like childhood kind of point of view? Because it looks like it. Now, remember what I told you. Always fire on the exhale. Don't flinch at the kick either. The gun won't smack you if you got a good grip on it and your eye isn't touching the sight. I'm not afraid to shoot a gun like TJ or Carl probably would be. Just a little nervous about the recoil. That's all. Suddenly Dad grabs my shoulders. Look! He points towards the sky directly above us. A bunch of birds in a V-shaped formation are overhead. Those are ducks. Duck is great. You've had duck before and loved it. Now you can get your own duck. Hurry, it's sighted. I scrambled to get the gun aimed up and my eye lined up with the sight. Come on, I'm trying. The ducks are already getting pretty far ahead. can't seem to get lined up right. Give it to me. No, 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 I've got it. Next thing I know, Dad's wrenching the butt from my shoulder and bringing the rifle up to his. It only takes him only a few seconds to get ready before firing. Just like before, a bird falls from the flock, plummeting to the ground past a clearing of trees. This time the flock breaks up, scattering. Dad turns, pushes the length of the rifle against my chest. Take your gun. I clutch onto it with both hands and Dad starts making his way forward. I follow. Why didn't you fire? I was going to. The aiming, the sight, it wasn't lining up with my eye. I needed to get it lined up right or else I was going to miss. Son. And then you just yanked it away. You were not listening to what I was telling you, just like what I was saying this morning. Dad's voice raises. You can't just do anything you're told, can you? My fingers grip for my rifle tighter and it's like everything goes red. I can! You were being an asshole! I yell so loud that my voice cracks. Dad turns, slapping me so hard that it makes my ears ring more than the gunshots do. My face burns and I growl in the inside of my jacket. A lump forms in my throat when I try to swallow down. I'm tough. I'm okay. Who taught you to speak like that? Nobody! Oh no, I think I know who. It was Flynn, wasn't it? It isn't right for you to hang around a boy like that. What do you even mean? All the kids are on Echo and you cling to the teenage potty-mouthed gay boy. And look what happened. He shakes his head, his eyes wide again like he can't even believe what he's seeing when he looks at me. You defy your parents to sit around at 5 in the morning watching men rope and hit each other. I'm breathing so hard now. It feels like I'm hyperventilating. Fuck you! Wrestling is cool and Flynn is awesome. Dad looks downright disgusted now, like he's gonna be sick. The insides of his ears are bright pink with flush too. You are sick. When we get home, we're sending you up north to the ranch. I don't care if we have to pull you out of school right now. You mean the compound? Now he's clenching his fists, his tail arched and still behind him. Your mother and I have prayed and prayed, but son, why don't you ever just leave me alone? You're so fucking bad, you know that? Stupid asshole. Dad steps forward, his fists raised. I bring my rifle up and aim at him, and he stops. You are sick. I never heard Dad speak with so much hate before. That being said, I've never been this angry before either. You're pointing a rifle at your own father. Are you gonna shoot me? Huh? I just don't want you to hit me! I yell so loud and my voice shifts to a shrieking scream, the rifle shaking in my paws. Everything's all blurry and I can feel my nose running. You deserve to be hit. The words make my stomach hurt for some reason. I throw down the rifle onto the grass and face him. No, you do! You're so awful! I hate you so much! You won't leave me alone. You're shit. All you do is threaten me and threaten me and threaten me. And Mom doesn't care. Nobody does. My throat burns and I swallow back a blubbering cry. Dad's shaking now. He doesn't even look like Dad anymore. I don't know what in God's name Flynn has done to you. You're just mad because you don't have any friends. You don't even have a job. You suck. Preach, preach, preach. You're so shitty. You're pathetic. I've hated you for so long. Nobody likes you. I run north, tripping over myself constantly as I can barely see where I'm going. Everything hurts and my insides are burning. Nothing will ever be the same again. I can hear him behind me, panting, furious like a pharaoh. I come through the clearing, then I hear him stop. When I turn around, he's not looking at me anymore. The duck that Dad shot landed squarely on the hood of an abandoned van. Dad looks at the duck, the van, me, the sky itself. He sets the rifle down on the ground. What? Next thing I know, he crouches down next to his haunches. He rubs at his forehead, his thumbs running along the brim of his too tight scout cap. It almost looks like it's sucking down on his scalp. You can practically see the veins bulge across his temple. He opens his mouth as if to speak, though no sound comes out. Dad's fingers grip at loose strands of grass around his feet, as if they were there to keep him tethered from floating away. I hate looking at him like this. What is he doing? He shuts his eyes, or more like he clenches them shut, like he's got shampoo in them or something. Is he praying? Fucking stupid idiot. God's not real, you know. Son. He finally speaks and he doesn't sound like himself. What? From the hood of the truck, little rivers of blood splay out from the duck's chest, dripping to the side of the grill. Its eyes are still open, even though it's dead. I always thought when something died, your eyes close and your tongue sticks out. It looks like it's staring at me. Dad doesn't respond, but he finally looks up and sees what I'm seeing. He sucks in his chest as if he's been struck. He shuts his eyes again. His whole body shakes for a moment, like he's having a spaz attack. It's not the same van. It's not the same van. He mutters. I don't want to watch this. I'm about to turn and walk away when I see something move in the back of the van. It's just for a split second, but I swear I see a face through the dusty glass. Son? Dad repeats himself. Dad? He gets there's a flash of red like something bouncing up. Dad, there's someone in the van. Dad says nothing. He won't even look now. There's someone in there. I know it. I wipe my eyes with my sleeve, clenching my fists and stepping closer to the rear window. Why would you do that? I smear away the dust from the glass and press against the tip of my muzzle against the window. Nothing. What the hell? When I step back, Dad's on his feet again. He doesn't look angry anymore. Just sad or empty, I guess. He picks up his rifle from the ground, holding it sort of limply with one paw. Without a word, he turns and heads back through the clearing where we came. I stand there for a while, listening to his steps trail off. My gut begins to feel like it's being twisted into a knot. Why didn't he say anything? He always says something. Any other time he opens his mouth, I practically flinch, so why do I feel like this now? He won't actually leave me out here, will he? I cross my arms over my chest, hugging myself. Minutes pass and nothing happens. It's like I'm rooted in a place, constantly wiping my eyes and nose. Just gotta be tough. I mean, I am tough. I just don't know what to do. What the hell am I supposed to do? I hate this. Why did I have to say all that? Nothing will ever be the same again. Even if I get to go home, my parents will just ship me off to live with my uncle in the compound. You know what? Maybe that'll be fine. At least my parents couldn't threaten me with that anymore. Maybe I'll even like making airplane parts. I don't need video games, TV, or my friends. That'll be fine because at least I won't be around them. Especially Dad. Still no footsteps. I would hear if he started up the truck from here, I think. Guess he hasn't left yet. Maybe I should start a fire or something. I never could get one going on my own in the past, but that's probably because I wasn't trying very hard. I look around and start gathering any twigs or dry grass I can find. Everything is still kind of damp though. That shouldn't matter as long as I rub hard enough. Flynn would probably make a joke about that, or at least show me what the heck I'm supposed to do. Flynn is the outdoorsy side, one of our group who knows all the survival stuff by heart. Which is weird, because he's gay and all. He's like the least gay acting gay guy ever. I remember once he told me that liking girls is too girly for him. I guess that makes sense. He's not like the kind that you see in the movies or how my parents describe them. I sigh, sitting down and splaying out a little bed of dry grass and twigs with a single coarse stone in the middle. After that, I take two of the sturdiest looking sticks and begin to rub them together like they do on TV. Here I am rubbing a bunch of faggots. And of course, nothing's happening. They're getting kind of warm, but they don't rub tight right. Not enough friction, I think. I grit my teeth, letting the heavy tail flop down on the soil behind me. I don't even care if it gets all dirty now. The paws of my pants are starting to really hurt, so I bite the inside of my cheek. I look down at the pile of twigs and I think I see a spark. I quicken the rubbing only for the twig to slip and scrape along the edge of my paw. I cry out in pain as a thin line of blood appears on my fur. Ugh. I inhale sharply. This is so stupid. I hate this. I throw the sticks down and cover my face with my paw, sucking on my cut. What am I doing? God, what am I supposed to do? I rock myself back and forth slowly, remembering what the school counselor told me. Imagine these feelings as a physical thing that you can hold. And take deep breaths and begin to rip these feelings apart as if they were a piece of paper that you didn't want anymore. Finally, imagine a calm, happy place. A calm place, a happy place. Somewhere where you can be alone and at peace. I sniff, making little rippling motions and closing my eyes. I've won the fight. People in the crowd can't believe it. I look across the sea of faces. Dex? You heckin' stinky. Welcome back. Hope you had a good. Hope you've been well. I look across the sea of faces. They all hate me. Well, maybe not all. I know there's one in this crowd who doesn't. I see him in the back where he usually likes to be. Dad's still standing there, his eyes puffy. Whoa. I follow my nose here, so who's stinky now? Well, see, Dex, you keep coming into the wolf's den, which you keep sniffing, because you've attempted to mark a piece of territory there. So that's how you found it. Yeah. Just because I smell sweet doesn't mean that. Oh, actually, are you trying to say something, Dex? These excuses are getting harder and harder to break. Nah, they're just truths. Dad, please. You were right for once. I swallowed back a blubbering sob, wiping snot from my muzzle. It's been so long, I can't take this anymore. Stop it! Things used to be different. He inhales raggedly, turning at the end of his facial scuff with one free paw. I used to feel things in real time. Now it's all like a memory of a thing. He continues to stare at the van. Like this isn't happening. It happened, and it will happen. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I feel his paw tug tighter on the rifle. No, 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 please stop! I pull back on my end of it. You know you can't stop me. I love you, please stop it! He's not even crying anymore. He's just standing there, only turning to look at me whenever he pulls the barrel of the gun close to his chin. I wish I was stronger. I really, really wish. Thought I could move away, forget it ever happened. Move on, find redemption in the Lord. It's never that simple, is it? I don't know what you're talking about. My voice is shrill and hoarse at this point. Sometimes I can't even speak. I want to call out for help, but there's no one around. But Eliza had to move back here. I loved her. So I had to grin and bear it, as they say. He wets his lips. I can't. He rolls his eyes in a strange, exaggerated fashion. Anytime I try to escape, be it physical-like or through some other such diversions, it all just keeps coming back to me, just going in circles. I begin sobbing on his pant leg, clinging to it as I pull as hard as I can on the gun. It's never enough, and he won't let go. Let's just go home, okay? Please, let's go home. I'm sorry. Dad says nothing. Something stirs from within the back of the van. Even with my vision blurred with tears, it's clearer than it was before. It's a face. Dad begins to move again, bringing the rifle end up to his chin. No, please! I grab Dad's paw, trying to pull his fingers away from the trigger. I yank as hard as I can. No eyes. Oh. Well, hello to you too, TJ. Good morning. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. What the hell was any of that? Was that like a Sydney backstory? Because if so, then Jesus Christ, he had one fucked up childhood. McSeany is the fucking GOAT, the co-writer for Echo, and he wrote Flynn and Jenna's Roots. Yeah, holy shit, dude. Wow. Just wow. Hey, is there any more of that oatmeal you bought left? TJ stands beside the bed, peering down at me. Oh, were you asleep? I blink. Chase, I'm so sorry. You were moving around so much I didn't know. Chase. Right. It's okay, TJ. I push myself up, feeling the bedsheet sink into the back of my fur. My shirt is drenched and I smell awful. Are you okay? A concerned look crosses the Link's face. I'm not sure how to respond. I'll get some water. He smiles at me the eerily genuine way he does. He turns and walks towards the sink. There's a subtle sound of oldies music coming from behind me, the suite next door. Sunlight peeks through the base drapery, but everything outside is just a pale glow. I can't gauge what time it is. I try to move my paw. It's slow to react. Every piece of my body is tingling with this sort of damp vibration. Sleep paralysis? But I'm awake. I just moved a second ago. Maybe I'm just dehydrated. I blink again and there's little floaties dance in front of my eyes. Blobs, swirls, and smiley faces that gleam whenever my gaze chases them. Let out a long exhale through my nostrils and shift away from my tail behind me. Today's Saturday. Today's the day. And isn't it beautiful today? Did I say that out loud? He holds the polystyrene cup directly in front of my muzzle. I can smell it, the water. Way too mineralized, like foggy calcium broth. But calcium can't hurt you. It's just bones. Like a clockwork automation. I feel my arm jerk and I rise, grasping the cup and bringing the contents to my lips. I finish it in 3 swallows. Water. It's been so long since I swam and I'm starting to really feel the need for it. Speaking of water... Refreshing. Air is fine, but it's just nothing. Water is something. It's got pressure. It hugs you as you move through it. Nobody understands that like we do, I guess. I realize TJ is just staring at me and I give him a look. Another smile. This one's more sheepish. With a small grunt, I manage to throw my legs out from under the covers, my feet touching the firm carpet beneath. I rub the sleep from my eyes. I slept like 11 hours. Why do I feel like this? Looking around, I notice the bed next to me is empty. Where's Jenna? My voice comes out higher pitched than I intended and I quickly clear my throat. She went out. I'm not sure exactly where. I stare at her, my eyes still only half open. Were we were supposed to go hiking. I mean, she said that she'd still like to. I'm sure she'll be back soon. Why do you want to hike so much? What? TJ frowns. You grew up here and you hiked all the time as a kid. Shouldn't you be sick of it by now? The lynx dips his paws back into his pockets, his lips pursing as he delays his response. Well, my parents didn't want me going out too far, or anywhere too dangerous. There's still a lot of trails that I haven't been on. This is Echo. You can see everything around you for miles. There's not much surprise when you can see the entire trail. Like going through a forest or a big mountain, I can understand some of the appeal, but not this. I sort of raised my arms and gestured to everything and nothing at the same time. DJ, meanwhile, just shakes his head. I think I understand what you mean, Chase, but hiking isn't about being surprised. So what if you can't see what's coming? It's what happens when you're there that matters. TJ smiles again with that same youth pastoresque vigor. I can tell it's genuine, but there's something about... There's always that feeling that I get that there's something going on behind those blue eyes that's not right. Growing up, I always chalked it up to his unwavering hypocritical dogma in contrast to my whole liking Dick's thing, but now I don't know. It was never enough to bother me too much, but I'm starting to wonder if this is what Flynn sees too. Jenna ate the last of the oatmeal. Oh, I guess I'll stop by the diner again then. Wanted to check up on Janice anyway. What are you gonna have? I don't know. I'm not usually the breakfast type. When I wake up, everything in my mouth just tastes gross and it kills my appetite. Oh yes, I understand. TJ nods, turning to move back towards the mini fridge. He opens it, staring inside as if looking hard enough would make a fruit parfait appear. That being said, I'm starting to miss the student union food court something fierce. Wait, did I read that right? Miss the student union. Okay, I did read that right. I think you hear TJ chuckle a little. He would really like our campus's cafeteria. Got a cereal bar with around 25 different types of cereal to choose from. You can even make your own protein bars and that sort of thing. It's really cool. That actually sounds pretty good, even though my palate sort of tastes like a mix of sawdust and barf right now. Lynx pulls out a wrapped rice treat, peering at it with a squinty expression. That's a creative way of describing that. I'm almost not hungry anymore. He holds up the treat, the blue foil catching the window light in a bit of a curious way. I'm not sure why this is in the fridge. Oh, I just threw that whole bag of stuff I picked up at the convenience store in there. Would you like this? Yeah, sure, I'll take it. TJ nods, tossing the treat in the gentle arc my way. I almost catch it. Ow. I rub the end of my snout as TJ looks at me wide-eyed. Oh, crimey, that hit you square, Chase. I'm sorry. That's okay. Still waking up, I guess. Oh, hold on. Let me reposition my... I didn't realize that this was so off position. I begin unwrapping the foil packaging. I'm gonna eat this and shower, okay? Not at the same time, right? No. Okay, good. Just making sure I didn't hit you too hard. Another sheepish smile. I manage one in return this time. I take a bite out of the treat, and to my surprise, it's actually pretty okay cold. After a moment, I notice the little blue light flashing on my phone. New message. A pang of guilt sets in as I realize the first thought is, please don't let it be Leo. Hey, it's Carl! I sigh. It's not. I scroll down and notice a message below it. Come over? Shit, Carl's interview is today, isn't it? I don't want to be bumming out too much. It's fine. I pause. I'll be over soon. There. I set the phone back down on the nightstand and toss the treat wrapper into the bin beside the bed. TJ glances up at me momentarily. He's also looking at his phone. Carl's got a job interview that paid in today. TJ looks up at his phone, grinning. Wow, that's really great. I still remember when he worked at that market shop we used to have on Elizabeth Street. Where's this one at? A print shop, I think? I don't know. Carl seemed kind of hesitant to talk about it. Oh. Well, tell him I wish him good luck, and that it's always really important that you smile. If you look like you're happy and excited, then the interviewers might get it that way too. It's infectious, right? Right. I've gotten literally all my jobs just because my parents were friends with somebody who was hiring. I suppose I've never really had to worry about interviewing. A noise comes from outside, the sound of jingling keys and a door being unlocked. So the police finally showed up. Jenna steps inside, giving me a bit of curious look over when she notices I'm still on my sleepwear. Are they gonna do anything? I doubt it. She strides across the room, grabbing a bottle of water from the mini fridge. Why is that? The cops seem more suspicious of me than anything. She lets out a little sigh of exasperation. They asked me if I'd been taking any drugs. Jesus. Guess I'm not used to seeing people our age around here that aren't. I think it was more anti-native sentiment than anything. Really? Yes. Jenna looks back to me. Chase, you should really shower. I blink. What? I noticed when I walked in. This whole room has your oily musk scent. That's not very flattering. I frown deeply, covering my armpits and pushing my tail back over my behind. Alright, I was going to anyway. I rise to a stand before moving to the bathroom. TJ gives me a sympathetic look as I pass. I shut the door behind me after stepping inside. With a few quick tugs, I remove my shirt and underwear and place them on the edge of the counter. At home, I just threw them on the floor. I don't really trust how clean the linoleum is here. I step into the shower. It gets hot quick, so I fiddle with the handle some. There's some gray fur tucked in the corner, so I'm guessing TJ took one this morning. I bend down and pick up the tiny complimentary shampoo bottle from the rack and begin to lather the contents over my body. It's not exactly the best type for my fur, but it'll work for now. Though I still can't shake the feeling that I have a cigarette smoke baked into my pores. You know, in comparison to the communal dorm showers, this is actually kinda nice. Contrary to what many may think, they're not as sexy as porn makes you believe. I begin lathering my fur further down, usually rub one out during shower time. Though at the moment, I'm pretty devoid of those feelings. Ever since I got here back to Echo, I felt more detached from everything than I usually do. Like all this stuff is going around me and I'm just here. When I woke up this morning, as if I wasn't even sure what the dream was and what was real. I don't even recall what the dream was about. TJ distracted me before I could really archive it or how it works with remembering dreams. There was this feeling of sorrow, fear, and general helplessness. Then all of a sudden, power or agency? I'm not sure how to describe it. It's familiar, but I don't know why. Like strange nostalgia without all the rose-tinted happiness. Dudes, I don't know about this. I peek into the bathroom, watching as Carl stares at himself in the mirror, running his fingers through his hair. I'm sure you'll look fine. Easy for you to say, you can't even grow hair. Carl sets the trimmer down, running his fingers through his beard. You tell him, Chase. Carl looks at me, and I have to agree that he looks a bit better. You look fantastic, a lot cleaner. Thanks. Now you might want to get the gamer stink off ya. You smell like JRPGs and energy drinks. I find myself snickering, though Carl doesn't look anywhere near a point of laughter. He just quietly shuts the door in my face. So, Chase, didn't expect to see you again. I look over to Daxton, who's standing beside the bathroom door with his arms crossed. Neither did I. Carl asked me to come over, so I did. Daxton nods. You think he's got this? Haven't known Carl long enough to say, really. I just hope he does. I can't help but thinking a lot of things that could go wrong, you know? Carl doesn't get out much. It's weird thinking about the future like that, isn't it? I cock my head and summon the amphibian's direction. What do you mean? The infinite possibilities of things that can happen. So expect the worst? With an infinite number of timelines, there's no such thing as a worst case scenario, just an infinite number of varying shades of bad. Do you actually believe that? He clicks his tongue, waving his hand dismissively. No, it was an episode of Adastra. Yeah. Daxton perks a furless brow toward me at the sound of the front door opening. We turn and make our way towards the entrance hall next to the kitchen. The familiar heavy footfalls did give away of who's here. Didn't know job interviews were a fucking group event. Wow, we have not seen Flynn in a hot minute either, I just realized. Flynn's tall form meanders in, carrying a few Tupperware containers and a plastic bag. He doesn't look at either of us. Well, he wanted us to be here and I didn't have anything else going on. Excuse me? He's in the shower now. I fidget with the inside of my pockets, trying to look nonchalant. Daxton's big blue eyes dart from me to Flynn, then back again. I have to go pee in something, I'll be right back. Flynn's mouth twitches as if he was about to call Daxton back, but relents. Instead, he sets his bag on the kitchen island and begins ruffling through it. His large tail twitches and he furrows his brow, seemingly trying really hard to concentrate on whatever he's doing. Which, as I look closer, is essentially just rearranging the Tupperware in the bag over and over. Flynn. He stops. He shifts his gaze towards me and I'm at a loss of what to say. Part of me wants to call him a fucking weird hypocritical asshole. The other part, well, I'm not really sure about what the other part is yet. Maybe if I just broach the topic of Chase. None of this shit matters. Gestures between us. I'm not gonna try to speak cryptic to you here about feelings and shit. I just need to know you're gonna keep your promise, okay? He's frowning down at me, but his expression is more uneasy than outright stern. Flynn. Fuck! His fist hits the countertop, and next thing I know, he's moving around the kitchen and grabbing paper towels. The lasagna is goddamn leaking everywhere. It's like a fucking menstrual pad in there. Why'd you bring lasagna? Because lard-ass needs to eat something besides pizza and self-hatred for a change. As opposed to who eats salads and hatred? Self-say? Shut the fuck up. At least I have a self. What's that supposed to mean? What was that supposed to mean? Flynn doesn't respond. The guy is busy with stacking paper towels underneath the bag before shoving it in the fridge. I hear the sound of hooves on the floorboards and turn around. Carl had shuffled into the living room so quietly that we didn't even notice. How does it look? He looks good, but I'm more concerned with the fact that he looks more insecure than I've ever seen him. He shifts from hoof to hoof, not making eye contact at all, his fingers pulling at the rolled up sleeves. Very nice. kinda look like you're pledging Alpha Lambda, but it works. What? Carl looks over at me and I give him a start, realizing how bad my silence must have seemed. You do look great, Carl. But, Daxon chuckles and Carl's eyes widen. What? The beanie. Do you always have to wear that thing? Seer? Hello, you cutie. Welcome on in. The blood welcomes you. Hope you're having an awesome evening. And we are playing some Echo. Carl lifts a paw to it. Usually. You can't wear that. How many do you... Wait, how do you even get it on? It's stretchy and my head fur looks awful. Seriously, you can't wear a beanie to an interview. Carl's getting all fidgety again, so Flynn butts in. Don't wear it. Oh, come on! He looks sad and angry at the same time, which gives me a pause. You go to work with your shirt half off. I'll wear it if I want. This is my interview. Usually Flynn would banter back, calling Carl a stupid dumbass or something of that nature, but he says nothing. What'd you call me? I called you! Ah, cutie! Yeah, cutie. You dare bite me? I'll bite right back. Bite right back. Ow. Ow. The worst thing Flynn has ever done was never introducing Carl to Daxon before. Oh, that's right, huh? Because they just like... Huh. That's what you are? No, that's what you are, Dex. I agreed to not call you it back. A new poll needs to be made. Nope, no new poll needs to be made. The Werefox has already made his decision, so we are sticking with what the Werefox says. Oh, sorry. The Alpha Werefox has spoken, so we are sticking with the Alpha Werefox's words. I cannot call you cute, but I can call you... Yes, they are. They mean the same thing. They're the same words. I'm not adorable either. They are not? Yes, they are. They are too the exact same words. And they are a sin. After a couple of silence, Daxon coughs. Daxon looks at me, then back to Carl. Well, I reckon that's alright. Carl sighs and shifts around again. We watch them expectantly. Dudes, this just feels weird is all. It's new, you'll get used to it. Pull out my phone to look at the time. Alright, we really need to head out. We should get there early. I will go into the VRC world, don't make me tap the sign. What sign? I don't know what sign you're talking about. At least... I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I have a picture of that sign? There is no such sign. The world is called... Yes, the Fur Locker world, yes. But there was no such sign. Because that sign never existed. As we head out the door, Daxon makes as if to follow us. Flynn turns around to face him as Carl heads out the door. Hey Dax. He stops. What? After the interview? Me, Chase, and some of our other friends, we're gonna be doing something. Wait, is Carl on board with this plan too? Daxon raises a brow. Oh? So could you fuck off for a bit? Jesus, Flynn. Part of me wouldn't mind a guy with Daxon's attitude present on what will surely be the biggest downer of the week. To keep Flynn in check. Daxon doesn't budge, giving Flynn an indiscernible look. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. After a while, Flynn just sighs, rubbing his brow. It's gotta do with personal stuff. Oh, really? See, why didn't you just say that? You wouldn't want to come. There's gonna be some heavy shit. Are you the heavy shit in question? Flynn says nothing. After a moment, Dax just exhales and shakes his head. Just let me know how the interview goes. As the salamander passes me, he speaks in a hushed tone. You deserve better, man. I look down at my feet before heading out to the car. You don't. Jesus, I forgot the fact that this game can spook you like that. Carl still looks confused after Flynn and I came out to the car without accident. Where's Dude Man? I make a show of buckling in my seatbelt. We'll talk about it after your interview. What? He's not coming? He's the guy who knows the guy who runs the place. Yeah, well, you weren't going to be bringing him inside with you anyway. Carl stares at the dashboard as I back out, pretending to be distracted so I can muster up something reassuring. You know, Carl, you should talk about some of your art while you're in there. I hear it's good to look like you have a passion, especially one that's tangentially related to what you do. To be honest, I have no clue what sort of skills you need at a print shop. I look at my rearview mirror and the ramp still isn't saying anything. Hopefully not many. By the way, Flynn. Flynn's nostrils flare as if he's bracing himself. The big lizard had to back up his seat all the way to give himself enough legroom in my tiny sedan. I need to stop by City Hall before we do that thing. Why? He responds with a wary dryness. I need to scan some photos to my thumb drive. I forgot to do it while I was there last. I know where everything I need is. Shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. I've got my keycard in my wallet. Flynn scratches his groin idly, looking out the window as we pass the diner. I'm sorry, I don't know why I cannot do English tonight. Like I said, I'm an idiot. I'm kind of surprised he didn't protest more. Carl stays quiet as we drive through the rest of Echo, and I swerve to avoid all the potholes. As I'm merging onto the highway, Flynn speaks up. I cooked you some shit to celebrate you joining the workforce and such. Fancy-ass organic store ramen with the spiced sausage stuff and lasagna? Same recipe that my uncle used. That's, premature, right? If there's a food reward waiting for you, your fat ass can do anything. I resist the urge to nod in agreement. Hope you're right. We all fell back into silence, and it stays that way for the remaining 20-minute drive. Carl gets more nervous as the closer we get. I can see his knees bouncing out of the corner of my eyes as he stares out the window. Flynn reaches back and puts a hand on one of them as we pull into the parking lot of the print shop. The guy mutters something to the ram. I can't make any of it out. You look awesome and you're gonna do amazing. Carl starts taking deep breaths, staring out the windshield. Just be yourself. Everyone loves a relaxed employee. I wish you'd just let me have a smoke before we left. Yeah, go in an interview smelling like pot. Great idea. Carl giggles nervously, but otherwise doesn't move. Do you want us to go in with you? Carl shakes his head quickly, unbuckling his seatbelt as he opens his car door. No, man, I'll be fine. Okay, cool. I'll be waiting. He looks to Flynn, who just gives him a little nod. I grin at him, but he just shuts the door and ambles up to the print shop. He pushes on the doors, and when they don't move, he pushes harder, shaking the glass. I start to open my door to tell him to pull instead, but he seems to figure it out before I have to and disappears inside. Oh, Carl. Fucking hell. I look over and Flynn has his palms over his face. I sigh, leaning my seat back. I try to take a nap because it feels like I haven't slept in ages for some reason. Though the heat beating down through the window starts becoming too uncomfortable. I turn the AC back on, then shuffle through the stations, but I only find a twangy country and a mariachi. I look at the time. 10:10 a.m. If the interview started on time, then he was probably almost done with it by now. I sort of want to go inside, but I know Carl wouldn't want me to. I settle back again and close my eyes, trying to get some relief from the failing AC. And the door rattles and I hear haphazard hoof steps. I open my eyes, but no one's there. Flynn doesn't seem to have noticed, his own eyes closed. I do catch some movement disappearing around the side of the store, and I leave around to get a better look. I wait, but Carl, at least I think it's Carl, doesn't come back from around the corner. Looking around, I slowly open my door. Carl? Flynn awakens with a start, looking around some. He out yet? Nothing. Carl? I yell it, but he still doesn't come out. Feeling some dread build up on my stomach, I get out of the car and slowly walk around to the side of the building. Flynn joins me. What the hell's going on? It's an alley between the print shop and what I think is a laundromat. Nothing is in the alley except for a few dumpsters and clumps of garbage. I step carefully around the puddles covered in oil slick and wonder if maybe he just really wanted to smoke. Carl? Something shifts on the other side of one of the dumpsters and I hear sniffling. Wordlessly, I walk around the dumpster to the other side. Carl is bent over, his back to me, paws on his knees. His whole body's shaking and his breaths are ragged. Holy shit, Carl! Before I can do anything, Flynn's at his side. Hey, you okay, man? What happened? The stench of vomit hits my nose and I don't need to look closely to know what the puddle between Carl's hooves is. Carl makes sure to turn his face away from us, not saying a word. Ah, shit. I dash back to the car and open the passenger door so I can get to the glove box. Pull out a few napkins before hurrying back to the Ram. When I return, Flynn is quietly rubbing his back. He takes them from me wordlessly and starts wiping his face. The last time I'd seen Carl like this was just last year when he had his panic attack at school. I didn't think he'd have that problem now after all the therapy and time away. I feel kinda useless just standing there watching them. He's at least not hyperventilating. The Ram had his horns pressed up against the wall, taking deep breaths as he wipes his face again. Why do I suck at everything? He says it quietly between his gasps, but I can make it out. Not everything. Come on, let's go. He starts to pull on his arm, but he yanks it from him violently. Don't touch me! Flynn and I are stunned into silence. I just stare at him, mouth open. He glances at me and his eyes are red, and for once it's not because of weed. Carl starts off toward the car on his own, spinning off to the side as he does. Carl, what happened? He whirls on me. I fucked up, obviously. Any more fucking questions? Few, yeah. His voice breaks apart on the last sentence and he turns away from us as his face starts to screw up. My stomach feels hollow as I watch Carl get into the car. I've never ever seen him like this. He immediately hunches forward behind the driver's seat, his head in his paws. I slowly walk up to the driver's side door, feeling like shit myself. Flynn joins me. The guy tugs at the scales around his chin, teeth grit. His expression is just bizarre, like intermediate smiling in between and almost nauseous-looking face contortions. Fuck. We sit for a while, waiting to see if Carl is going to say anything, and he does. I'm sorry. He blurts it out through his fingers. I look over at him, scared to say anything in case if I say the wrong thing. It was a disaster, dudes. He takes in a deep, shuddering breath. He could tell me I wasn't into it right away. I was awkward as fuck. He leans back and tugs at his shirt. This isn't me, and they knew it, and it got me nervous. I've been nervous ever since I put on these clothes, since I got the stupid trim. We sit in silence for a long time until Carl finally looks back at me and smiles. God damn it, we all knew this was going to happen, right? Just like in Pueblo with you, Chase, and your Uncle Flynn. I'm just a fuck up. Nah, this is my fault, man. I told you I was gonna coach you and I never got around to it. And I'm the turd dirt who made Dax stay behind. Maybe he could have helped. I don't fucking know. The guy takes in a seething breath. You can't be expected to go into this shit blind and spit out exactly what some mid-level manager named Skylar wants to hear. World's fucked just like that, just banging walls sometimes. No, dude, I'm the one that screwed up the interview. Carl settles back in his seat. Now with that fuck up out of the way, I sigh, looking at the hazy horizon in the direction of where I knew Echo is. On to the next. None of this fucking matters, Carl. Don't worry. Flynn gives me a look, then closes his eyes. I don't know if Flynn believes what he's saying. So with that, I turn on the ignition and pull out the parking lot, leaving the print shop in its alley far, far behind us. It's quiet inside. Not that I expected any noise or anything, but still. Flynn's desk is pretty clean except for a stack of documents labeled March 1st County Code Amendment Board Review. Upon closer inspection, there also appears to be a book propped up against his monitor. Municipal Economic Development, Free Market Solutions for Public Problems. A sticky note is attached to the front with flowery cursive handwriting that states, "Read this." I hear Flynn step up beside me, seeming to notice my gawking. He doesn't say anything though. Instead, he just walks over to his computer and chair and takes a seat. Carl ambles in after him. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was high, judging from how puffy and his red eyes are. You don't actually come inside here too often, do you, Carl? Carl shakes his head. It's still really weird that you're a secretary. Carl half mumbles. Clerk. Flynn rests his elbows on the desk, rubbing his fingers together. You know, elections are coming up here soon. There's a few positions up for grabs. He looks at Carl and takes a few seconds for Carl to look back and get the meaning. That's cool, I guess. Flynn opens his mouth and pauses, then speaks. Maybe even the clerk position. I was heading towards the mailroom, but that catches my attention, and I stop. What? Do you think you'll be, voted out? Flynn shrugs. I might not run. Carl lets out a little huffing noise, sniffing and wiping his nose with the inside of his shirt. So, you're gonna go back to unloading freight? Flynn doesn't respond immediately, as if weighing something in his mind. He pushes the power button on his desktop tower, and the whir of the internal fan breaks the silence. I may not even be here. Even Carl looks up now. Huh? The guy seems to grimace slightly, his mom pulled onto his sneers, as if whinging at himself. Fucking Chase, you gonna get your shit scanned or not? I straightens him, not really having expected him to shift focus and snap at me. You know what? I'm interested. Let's see. The hell? What does he mean by that? Flynn, what? He's staring at me, and it's like all the air has been sucked out of the room. I swallow. Are you going somewhere? Flynn looks to Carl as if expectant. Carl blinks, meeting Flynn's gaze. Well, are you, dude? Flynn's sharp stare lulls, but only slightly. I don't know yet. The fuck? Carl, it really doesn't... Shit. Do you see the way Chase is acting? Carl looks at me at a moment, then back to Flynn. No? His voice is quiet. You gonna leave too? I don't want to leave, Carl. Flynn shifts in his seat, his tail curled tight around the base post of his chair. Carl just seems still. I can't even see him breathing. Jesus fuck, Chase. All I did was ask. Flynn reaches into his desk drawer and pulls out a can of lemon lime soda, holding it up into Carl's direction. You did something, alright? Just give me a minute, alright? I need to talk to Lardass. Do your shit. Ugh. I rub the space between my brow and step out of the room. The mailroom looks a little different for some reason. It's not nearly as neat as it was, with some of the parcel folders scattered on the main table. Documents dog-eared and tape-tagged. I step forward and the heel of my foot hits something hard or metal. It rolls out from beneath me and I have to use my tail to catch my balance. Jesus fuck! I find myself involuntarily clutching my chest, trying to regain my composure as I check what nearly broke my neck on. A fireplace poker? Well, actually, pokers. There's like 5 of them just sitting here on the floor. Thank God I didn't step on the pointed end. What are these even doing here? I step around the pile when I hear the sound of Flynn's raspy voice from the other room. So you didn't see anything? Carl speaks next, but his tone is too low and rumbling to make anything out. I remember the other day while I was working on the computer in the corner, I could hear most of what was being said in the main office. The walls are thin here. I mean, we could probably listen in. I move to the corner of the room and press my ear against the wall. At first I don't hear anything, but then Carl coughs and it sounds like he's right next to me. Dude, I don't know what you're going off about. Don't bullshit me. Flynn snaps back. Silence follows and I hear what sounds like metal scraping against the wall. The plastic drywall creaks ever so slightly and reacts to Carl's shifting weight. I don't know. Flynn sighs. But why didn't you tell me you were going? I might not. Nothing's set in stone. It's not my decision anyway. What do you mean it's not your decision? Dude, you're like an adult with money. I hear the sound of typing on an old mechanical keyboard, the intermediate pecking evident that it's Flynn. It's my aunt. She wants to bring me up north for a while. Oh. Carl coughs again. Is this where you know that FLDS stuff? You know, shit, I actually don't fucking know. The office chair creaks. Flynn must be leaning back on before standing up. She gets all obsessed with shit like she's religious and all that, but she can't give two fucks that I like dick. She only believes that what she wants to believe in, and a lot of that is, and a lot of it's shit that's just made up. Even more made up, I mean. There's a pause. Not to go full fedora on you. What I'm trying to say is she's been pushing me to leave because she feels like we should. And you're okay with that? She's been saying everything's gotta go to tits soon. The air's wrong, something's on the rocks. She's right. She's always right. What? Silence. Not even a shuffling of hooves or a squeak of a chair. I hold my breath trying to hear something. Anything. All I can hear is a slight ringing in my ears and the thud of my own heartbeat. It feels like minutes pass and nothing happens. Fuck, do they know I'm listening? I quickly step back away from the wall and shuffle back to the center table with all the folders. My eyes dart back to the doorway, half expecting Flynn to be standing with his blue-green eyes piercing right at me. But there's nothing. I'll have to ask Carl about all of this when he's feeling better. For now, I should probably at least try to focus on the task at hand. It looks like some of the folders I went through are still on the desk. I thought I put those away. Maybe the mayor was checking to make sure I didn't take anything. I was just curious of what I was looking at. Well, it doesn't matter now. It actually cuts down to some of the work of trying to find most of his stuff. Plug in my keychain thumb drive to the printer and begin scanning. I can't help but think about Carl in the print shop while I'm at it. He's basically been on a giant summer vacation for the past 2 years. No real worries about money or anything. To go from that to having to wake up every morning at 6 to drive all the way to Peyton and do this for 8 hours? I mean, it's easy, I think. Once you get the basic handle of things, it's the kind of job you can autopilot. I could drift away and just daydream most of the day. I've had jobs like that growing up. Hell, if I went to Mesa instead of Puebla, I would probably ended up behind the till at Leo's dad's place. Despite everything, I can't help but feel that might have actually been kind of fun. Leo's dad is really nice, always offering to help with things, and never seeming too skeeved regarding gay stuff. But of course, I had to get away from this town, and Peyton's not far enough. I'm still not even sure I like journalism. I mean, the classes are interesting and all, but I'm imagining trying to sell myself in the work to all these outlets, and I don't know. I guess I just don't really have the energy for it. Plus, I never really liked looking at myself on screen. I don't really remember seeing this one before. This must be from a folder that I didn't look at. There's no descriptive text attached to it. I placed the photo on the scanner. After a few minutes, I think I've got most of what I need. I removed my thumb drive and turned the power off for the scanner. As I stepped outside the hall, I noticed that the door to the mayor's office is open. It's still pretty quiet in here. You know, I never really knew much about Flynn's aunt. She was kind of in and out of his life growing up from what I can recall, and usually didn't stick around for an echo for too long. Her and Flynn's uncle had a weird relationship, and it wasn't like I ever hung out at Flynn's place enough to learn more. He was always just a bit too old and to really pal around with like I did with the rest of the group. I mean, Leo was like a year younger, but he didn't really act like it. Flynn was basically an adult by the time he was 14 by the way he handled himself, all self-reliant and such. Curious, I step into the office and I'm taken aback by how much it smells like potpourri. My nose takes me to the source, a small bowl filled with slightly decayed plant life with a wide variety of colors. It gives the office a sort of flower garden scent, which really doesn't match the aesthetic. Black, white, and red everywhere. Like a supervillain who could only buy hobby shop decorations. I step over a small pile of alabaster quartz with stitched in a ceramic dish on the floor, which is strange, of course. There's a weird-looking globe on the edge of her desk, too. I step closer and notice several little prongs which hover over which I think there's the meridian. Actually, there's no landmass indications or any labeling on the spear to speak of. I reach out and touch the smooth plastic surface. Pressing down, I give the globe a gentle spin. As it rotates, the middle prong begins to bounce like a dowsing rod before sticking to the surface. As the spear continues to spin, the sticky effect lessens and it bounces back. Huh. Must be a magnet on the other side. I spin it some more and the other prongs lean slightly towards specific points of the globe. I keep forgetting that this image is in the game. You know, I didn't expect that. I did not expect to see like an illustrated like globe here. It's kind of a weird knick-knack. Not really anything in here that can help me with my project. With that, I turn and make my way back to the front office. Suddenly, a familiar Lynx rounds the corner. Chase? What are you doing here? He stops in his tracks, fidgeting with himself. It's not in the... Wait, actually? Is it actually not in the gallery? Hold on, now you got me curious. It's just really out of place. Yeah, I did not expect to see... I didn't expect to see that at all either. I thought that that was kind of weird. It's an interesting illustration though, don't get me wrong. I do think that it looks pretty good. For as weird as it is, it looks pretty good. No one talks about it either. I'll have to look into the files later to see if I can if it really isn't in the files, because again, that's a really weird kind of moment. He stops in his tracks, fidgeting with himself. The feline keeps rolling and unrolling the bottom of his shirt. I don't see any sign of Flynn or Carl. Hi TJ, I was just with Flynn and Carl. I'm scanning some stuff for my project. Oh. He frowns in acknowledgement, nodding. How did Carl's job interview go? His frown shifts to a tepid smile, awaiting my response. Not good. And just like that, it's gone. Oh. Hey, stop digging in the carpet. No digging in the carpet. Sorry about that. Click the lake in the title for gallery. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that then. Well, there's a lot of work in Peyton. He'll snag one eventually, won't he, Chase? I fold my arms over my chest. I think he might need to get over some stuff before trying again, honestly. Anxiety, all that sort of junk. TJ nods. Weren't you going hiking? TJ glances to the side, seeming to eye each open doorway with a sense of wariness. Flynn texted me. He said he wanted to talk. You know, about what happened at the lake. I blink. And you agreed? My voice comes out more surprised than I intended it to. Again, TJ nods. TJ, you don't have to... It's my decision, Chase. I want to help. I sort of knew this was coming when I came back. And I know it hurts Flynn. Despite his words, TJ doesn't look remotely confident, the link shifting it restlessly. But I didn't know that you would be here, though. I don't know exactly how to respond to that, so I just pull up my phone and tap away, giving the links the understanding nod. Sort of the Carl maneuver, I guess. Well, don't worry, TJ. It'll be okay, I think. You think? We're back. Carl got sick again, puked all over the historic hanging tree. Carl offers a meek wave, which freezes when he sees TJ standing next to me. He quickly shoves both of his paws in his front pockets. Flynn notices TJ as well. He doesn't show any signs of nervousness. Jesus, is this really happening? He moves over to us and rests behind the back of his desk, his large tail wrapping around it. There's something about the sight that accentuates how damn huge he is, and I can't help but wonder if he's doing it on purpose. Carl remains motionless by the door. We lock eyes for a moment, but our attention shifts as Flynn speaks. Thanks for, showing up and stuff. TJ says nothing, the link standing next to a small pot which keeps bouncing his foot against. I see Flynn's Adam's apple bob, the guy wetting his palate like his whole mouth has gone dry. Meanwhile, Carl just looks like he's about to be sick again. Oh. Is there any significance to this? I don't think so. At least I wouldn't think so. You know what? I'll stand beside Tej. I gingerly step over to the side beside the nervous Lynx. He gives me a curious look, though it pales in comparison to the furrow-browed expression the guy is giving me. I told Flynn I wouldn't stop when he finally did this. The question is now whether I can manage to keep my word or not. There we go. TJ, you can sit if you want. I don't want to sit. The Lynx responds quickly. Want some water or soda? Do you still drink soda, or does that give you too many hell points? I don't need anything to drink. Thank you, though. The feline remains on edge, guarded, seemingly ready himself for the geyser to explode like he did back at the river. Aight. So I'll ask you again. What happened, TJ? For some reason, hearing those words again makes my heart lurch within my chest. This is so fucked up. And I told you, I don't know. How the hell can you not know? You were there. Play it back to me, step by step. Flynn. I see the lizard's tail pull inward. Flynn himself is stone-faced, but he can't keep that thing still. TJ notices it too, flinching. He looks towards the exit. His longing to be out of the situation is pretty evident. I rest my paw on his shoulder and attempt to comfort him, but I realize I might be coming off more intimidating than anything. All the details. I don't care what you think is insignificant or not. TJ takes a deep breath. We were all playing on the beach. I was building a sandcastle. Then there wasn't much sand, so I was using mud. Jenna helped. So Jenna was with you. Not the whole time. Sydney ran up and we did a little wrestling move on it. You were behind Sydney. You laughed, and I think Carl did too. No. Carl's protest is barely audible. I'm starting to remember some of this. Carl was asleep, wasn't he? And Leo? Leo wasn't there. Leo's prepubescent voice fills my mind. I'm sorry. His language skills weren't great, so he just stumbled through a sobbed apology. I promise protecting all of you. From now on. Chase was. He looks over to me for a moment. Yes, he caught up with me after I ran off. Flynn, you were there for this part. You remember all of this. I remember Jenna coming up and yelling at me about Sydney. You were the one who told him to destroy my sandcastle. Flynn's eyes narrow. This isn't about you stupid fucking sandcastle. TJ crosses his arms over his stomach as if he was hugging himself. Sid's dead. What happened? I see TJ's legs start to shake beneath him. I have to stop this. Flynn, enough. The guy that looks up at me, his eyes a little wider. What? This isn't going anywhere. You're just making it awkward. Fucking what? You're just attacking. I don't give a fucking shit if it makes you a little uncomfy like. You're all goddamn adults. I'm sure all of your expensive therapists told you to talk about it, so talk about it. Chase caught up with me. All eyes shifted back to TJ. He kept asking where Leo was. Then he ran off. Flynn looks to me. I couldn't find him. Someone's knocking on the door. What are you doing? Jenna marches in with her phone in her grasp, seeming to ignore everyone else in the room but the Guyla. Flynn grits his teeth, swearing under his breath. This absolutely better be the scene of you apologizing. Her gaze finally shifts to the rest of us. Judging by the expressions on our faces, I think she's able to quickly discern that this is not the case. You are completely out of line. Jenna, not now. TJ came in here on his own accord. You're disgusting. You know that? You get pleasure out of toying with people. You always have, no matter how much it hurts them. She stands in the center of all of us, speaking in a clear, solid tone. It doesn't seem to matter that she's over a foot and a half smaller than Flynn. Like I was saying, TJ came in here on his own accord. The others can vouch for that. There's only so much that can be of his own accord when you've been harassing him with text messages all week. Sydney was my best friend. I'm fucking entitled to know what happened. You're entitled to nothing. Jenna retorts quickly, speaking in a tone that's as sharp as a knife. The room goes quiet. Jenna's glare is unwavering from Flynn, who's looking at the floor now. Finally, she speaks again. It would be best if you just left now, Flynn. You're in my office. Your office? She lets out a quick, exasperated breath. You are a receptionist at a publicly funded city hall for a town of barely 50 people. You need to get over yourself. Leo pushes his way in past Carl, the wolf also looking at his phone. Flynn? Carl and I do our best to get out of the way. He doesn't even notice me. Flynn stands straight up. What? You know what. The wolf seems to put himself in between the Guyler and TJ. Flynn just blinks, holding up the flats of his large hands. Hey, I ain't gonna hit him. Jesus shit fucking Christ. Suddenly, he looked straight at Carl. I told you, it's a goddamn conspiracy. Jenna lets out a disgusted noise. Is that what you think? It couldn't be possibly your track record of manipulative, self-centered, and downright mean-spirited behavior? Flynn clenches his fists. You are so fucking quick to damn me. All I want to know is the truth. I feel TJ's arm bristle against my own. It's happening again, just like what happened at the river. I lean closer to him, replying back. I know. The truth is that Sydney had an accident and died, and you were completely unable to accept that. You were not the only person who has lost someone. The way to choose to make yourself feel better is to bring everyone else down with you. That is unacceptable. You can't let go, can you? Just a total control freak who thinks they know what's best and who deserves what. We all know you hated Sid the most. Hell, you told Carly you were glad he was 10 years ago. And guess what? He told me. Carl looks down at his hooves. Jenna's about to speak again, but Flynn cuts her off. TJ, go on from where you left off. We get 1 week with our old friends, our family, and you ruin it, man. TJ still holds himself tight. I need to do something. I step forward. Okay. Well, I guess we're condemning Flynn. The guileless jaw drops as I stand beside Jenna. The weird thing about this choice is that it has very, very small impact on the dialogue, punctuation, and even sprites of the scene. Got it. I just picked the middle one. I don't know if that does anything. I can't let you do this anymore, Flynn. I'm not just your damn toy you can use it for you stupid... Wait, hold on. Hold on. I'm actually curious now. What if I pick the first one? Okay. We're just gonna go with the middle one because that's what I picked first. I just wanted to help you, to fucking understand you for once. Remember what you said? I'll beat the shit out of him if I have to. It's not noticeable if you pay close attention. Got it. TJ backs away, his eyes whitening. Jenna furrows her brow back at Flynn, who looks like a mix of befuddled and enraged. That's not happening. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. The giant guy that practically hisses. I don't think any of that shit that you said about Leo is true either. At first, you just kept saying that he's changed and all he does is bully people and fuck randoms. Jenna's right, you just manipulate people to get what you want. You knew damn well that I was hoping, that I wanted. I made sure to look at Leo with a sort of sorrowful, longing look. I trail off and Leo quickly steps up. Go on. I bite my tongue for a moment and Flynn seems like he's about to pop. I peer up at Leo. His blood's just ran cold by the look of him. He made me think he didn't care, and he actually loved me. All he wanted to do was fuck, man. He kept saying I shouldn't see you, that you were dangerous and I needed to help him plan his interrogation. He's making it all up. Did you just see what he did? He does it all the time now. That's why I texted you guys. I didn't want TJ to get hurt. You're the one who texted them? Chase. Next thing I know, Leo's bending down to scoop me up in his embrace. His muscled arms around my back. It feels so good despite the circumstances, and I hug him back. What the fuck? You false motherfucker! Flynn? Jenna, you have to... Just shut up. The look on her face is absolute repulsion of the whole situation. Man, it's been a long week. I mutter. I feel the wolf just shake his head. His cheeks rubbed firmly against mine. Fuck yeah, it has. What? No! Carl speaks up from the corner of the room. His voice is faint, but we all hear it. Dudes, Flynn wouldn't hurt TJ. I don't know what you guys would think that he would, even if he did say it. Carl's voice peters out meekly. Leo pulls back from me and I feel a weird sense of loss. Maybe I'm just touch-starved or something. This sort of bad business just sounds like him, yeah? I felt it in my gut you were trying to tell me something yesterday at the party. I should have caught on sooner. I knew it. I knew he was just trying to take you, Otter. Even Jenna gives Leo a bit of a sidelong look. And was manipulating Teach, that too. He adds quickly. TJ just keeps frowning, his face plastered with a blank stare. I don't like pretend to understand the whole Chase Flynn thing, but almost none of that sounds like him. You think I'm some sort of fatale type? Seduce poor fucking innocent Chase to do with my bidding? Absolute balls. You're full of shit. You fucked him. I know as much. Oh yeah, I deduced that from spying through my fucking windows. No, Chase told me that himself. Oh, the Daxton and Chase interaction with the Leo and that possibly could have changed it. Oh, yeah, I fucking sullied his goddamn virtue, sure. Just ruining him with my corruptive cock. Jesus. Leo says nothing, unable to bring the words to reality. He shakes his head and I can feel his fangs start to bare. Flynn throws up his arms, letting out an exasperated exhale. Yeah, Leo, I fucked him, and he moaned like a bit. Oh! Leo tosses with such a fierce slug of punch that Flynn's face looks like it vibrates in place. The guy like crumples to the ground. Leo! Leo kicks the large lizard's waist as he attempts to cover himself, Flynn letting out a choked groan. Yeah, you patchy shit, who's moaning like a bitch now, huh? Stop! Flynn, are you okay? Carl's voice cracks like it did when we were kids, his tone worry-laden. Jesus, Leo! Flynn is still on the floor and Leo's leering over him, fists clenched. Stop! TJ practically shrieks. All heads turn, even Flynn's, which is looking a little battered. TJ, I saw how Sydney died. His voice is so quiet in contrast to his initial yell that it's like a splash of cold water. Teach, you don't have to give this piece of dirt the satisfaction. I want to. He deserves as much. He seems to take a moment to get his breathing steady, the link's looking shaky. I had run off to be alone by the water far side of the beach by the outlet. I was upset and I wasn't watching the water. There was some shouting in the distance. It just sounded like, I don't know how you guys used to be. Loud, you know? The lynx rubs his paws together, rocking upon his feet. About 10 minutes passed and I heard splashing sound nearby. I looked up and I thought I saw someone on the water. There were bubbles, lots of bubbles. And then I looked up, I saw this thing standing down the shore a ways. It was really tall, like a person, but burned all over, like hot ashes in a fire pit. What? Tears brimmed at the edges of tears in TJ's eyes. I started walking into the water and I just ran. I ran and I ran and I ran. Carl looks at TJ dumbfounded. Please. Flynn sputters, visibly in pain. No more fucking bullshit. I'm serious. I've talked to so many therapists, counselors, youth group leaders, and no one believes me. TJ's brow wrinkles. Oh. Nova the Yeen. Hello, friend. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a good evening, night, day, whatever time zone you might be in. But yeah, welcome on in. The pleb welcomes you. So all the shit revealed in TJ's, right? I do remember that, yeah. Cause I forgot, was it Chase that killed Sydney or was it something else? It's been a while, so I don't remember that. It might have been Chase, I forgot. Yep, it was us. Okay, cool. So I was right about that. I'm doing good, Nova. It's good to be here. I'm happy that you're here. We were playing Echo, which we have not played since March this year. So, a bit of an overdue adventure. Hence the title name. Very overdue. No one will ever believe me. It hurts so much and I'm just so scared all the time. It's quiet. We all stand there watching the lynx cry. No one speaks and no one reaches out to him. Snot runs down from his nose. He tries to wipe it off with the inside of his shirt, but he just smears it. He clutches at his own whiskers, tugging at them. As I was running back a quarter mile away, someone tackled me into the water. They held me under so long, light started popping in front of my eyes. The lynx gestures, opening and closing his paws in front of his face. Everything after that got fuzzy, like I was dreaming. 2 bodies, both had brown fur, that's all I could see. Undulating in this constant restless motion. It all comes back so quickly. The sky's overcast, the air's crisp. Autumn. TJ's sitting in a daze, Jenna running back to town, Flynn pulling me into the water. Me grabbing onto the next scruff, pulling back to the shore. Carl sitting on a rock, bawling. Leo starts trying to do compressions. And Sydney just stares. The sirens, the helicopter rotors, adults everywhere. I'm home and Mom's holding me. Dad puts on my favorite movie and I watch. But still, Sydney stares. 2 bodies, both with brown fur. Slowly I start to feel their eyes shift toward me. All except for TJ, who stares only at the floor and mutters, "I'm sorry." I look to Flynn, Carl, Jenna, and Leo, and they all have the same look in their eyes. Nothing of malice, hatred, or contempt, but a sort of mournful pondering. Both with brown fur. No, wait, Chula, this little joke has gone too far. Leo looks to the others. Jeez, I didn't do it. Yeah, I know that, Otter. You and I were closer than any people I know, yeah? I would have found out if you did. I mean, you went through that whole emo phase, bearing your soul to me constantly. You're a wingy little bastard, remember? He puts on a smile, seeming to shine like a spotlight on the others in hopes that it would be contagious. And it isn't. TJ? The lynx just sniffs. Why didn't you ever tell the police this? I thought the monster got him. We didn't find Sydney by the outlet, TJ. Jenna looks troubled, more troubled than I've seen her look in years. She's always the stoic figure of rationality and taking things apart logically. Why are you acting scared for Chase? I mean, I'm not a voice actor by any means, but I just feel like kind of getting into that makes it a little more authentic. I don't know. That's just me. But now she's just quiet. Flynn and Carl keep staring at me. I know what they think, and it's wrong. Flynn gives me a long, blank look before walking toward me. Flynn, Oh. My God, Flynn. Jenna's voice comes out muffled as I stagger back, grabbing my jaw. Ow. It feels like my brain is scraping the top. Did he knock the shit out of us? Like, did he, like, crack our... My knees go weak and I can feel myself teetering backwards as if slow motion. For some reason, it's like I'm expecting nice cool water to greet my backside. That tipping sensation sticks with me and I realize I'm not actually falling. Flynn! 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 Leo's shout keeps repeating and each time it's quieter and more distorted than before. You hold your paw up in front of your face and you actually do it. You move. I didn't do that. The kids in front of you are just red blurs. I just want to lay down. Don't. There's a black and orange figure in front of you. Don't let the lizard hurt him again. You hear shouting, but not from the inside. Outside. The blurred group isn't looking at you anymore. Get out. I don't care! I don't care anymore, you faggots! A cracking voice comes from the outside. If I had to guess, it sounds like it's coming from down the block. Everyone but Flynn is peering out a small window near the door. The guy, however, is still staring at me. His eyes look like they're shaking in their sockets. Oh Lord, my Lord, good Lord. Oh, how you test me so. I fall upon my knees and ask you where to go. What's going on? Yeah, Carl tries to peer past the bulk of Leo to see where the commotion is coming from. My head is still reeling from Flynn's punch. He's never hit me before. Well, never seriously. He wasn't ever the sort that got into physical fights growing up. Usually he'd just stomp off and sulk if something truly upset him. But now he doesn't look like he's budging. It's Clint. Who is he yelling at? God? Leo looks over his shoulder, peering at me. You okay, Otter? I feel heaven's call in every canyon's edge. Just past the overlook window. Or at the bottom of the water, all tied up with an egg. I can't. I can't do English, nor can I sing. I feel myself backing up. It's like how I felt on the roller coaster stopped on the chain lift. What's happening to me? Chase? Flynn begins to follow. Flynn, you stay right there or we'll beat your ass double hard, yeah? Leo, for God's sake, all of you, stop. Where are you going? I make a sound. I think I say home, but it comes out rather garbled. You can't keep running away from this shit. TJ squints, his nose pressed against the window pane. He's holding something. Yeah. I keep stepping back. My legs feel like they're vibrating. My movements are abrupt and jerky. I manage to get into the hallway and approach a door covered with caution tape. A placard denotes it as the reading room. I grasp the handle and I have to give it a hard shove before it budges. The door is heavy. I'm nearly overwhelmed by the musty smell from the inside. The corner of the room is completely stained from the rain damage and the roof is boarded up. There was an exit here, but it's gone now. Why do I know that? I stare at the little section of the wall where the old wooden door used to be. A small picture of a group of quail crossing a dried wash is in its place. As I move to leave, I notice the door won't open. It's hard stuck in place. Wait. Oh. A sharp crack rings out from somewhere outside, followed by a quick scurrying of feet across the carpeted floor of the lobby. A gunshot. I try the door again more fervently, hoping that it would just... I'm pulling a Carl here and pulling where I should be pushing. Still nothing. Fuck. More shots ring out, this time accompanied by a dull thud and the sound of stucco being shattered. Those ones hit the building. I get down on the floor, my heart pounding. It still feels like I'm moving in slow motion, even with the adrenaline pumping through my veins. What the hell is wrong with me? I hear the front door open, followed by more scurrying upon the carpet. Why the hell are they running outside? I hear an engine start, then splaying of gravel as what sounds like Leo's van drives off. They left me? Even Leo? I crawl on the floor, making my way toward the corner of the room. I pinch myself, trying to snap out of this strange malaise. I can hear the occasional shout from a shout on the street, but it's all gibberish now. Leaning back against the wall, I rub my throbbing temples. Tweakers. Couldn't have showed up at a better time. I try to listen to see if the shouting is getting closer, but it's difficult to tell. If that really is Clint, this is really out of character for him. He never was the singing type, screaming about faggots, yeah, but singing? No. Looking around, it seems like most of the old books and such have been taken off the shelves and put into the sorted boxes to prevent water damage. Having lived here my whole life, I've never actually been inside here. That actually feels like quite a feat of noting I've covered damn near every other square inch of town. There's a few binders and booklets near my side with titles like Colville Stormwater Drainage Plan, 1999, and Drought Resistant Plant Guide. Next to them, there looks like what looks to be some kind of unopened canister of fumigation stuff. I reach down to grab it, and when I notice the fur on my arm, it's wriggling. A couple brown strands of fur seems to bounce back and forth, and I become cognizant that my arm has been tingling for a while now. Glancing past my fingertips, I see the beige mass near the end of my foot, and that's when I see the legs. A blonde tarantula about an inch away from the tip of my toes. My throat closes on itself before I can fully scream. I blink, writhing back. Next thing I know, it's on my chest. It moves faster than I can even see, its pittering legs feeling like they're all over me. I grab the edges of my shirt, trying to fling it off, but it's already on my neck. I slap at it, feeling the squish and hearing a very light clicking squeak. The edge of my neck begins to burn, and I pull back my paw to inspect my palm. There's no tarantula. I see the 8 ribs. Oh no, it's a black widow. Oh, it's a black widow. On the abdomen, there's a splotchy pigmentation of the red, the number 8. My pulse quickens when I realize it's an hourglass. Black widow. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I look down at my arms again and realize that it's just my fur moving. Oh, they're babies. They're babies. Oh, they're babies. Oh, they're baby black widows. I tear my own shirt, jumping to my knees and trying to bat at the seemingly infinite number of spinally fanged arachnids. Each time I bat my arms more, their guts cover my paw pads and fur until it feels like my paws are wet. It's not just my arms anymore, they're inside my shirt, my shorts, and my face. I try plugging my nose, keeping my shirt muzzle shut as I roll on the floor, not daring to open my mouth to scream. I fling my shirt off, then pull my shorts. I see the webbing of the nest I had sat upon the fabric of my shorts. Oodles of the baby and not-so-baby spiders crawling out. Naked, I manage to scramble to my feet and run to the other side of the room. I tear at my own fur, pulling the spider-filled clumps of the process with such ferocity that the skin beneath bleeds. I pull and pull, my vision blurred from my own fear-induced weeping. The needle-shot sensation where they bite is the worst part. It doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would, but I can feel it every time, over and over again. I pull a large one off my face and throw it to the ground, a scruff of fur and some of my goatee going with it. Dancing up and down, I try to shake the remaining ones off, but they cling incessantly. Trying to pull each one off is impossible, they're too fast. Sometimes I only manage to grab a few legs with a thick abdomen, and the rest of them remains embedded in my fur. Spider blood isn't red or green like it is in video games or movies. It's this faint blue kind of color, and it feels like it's all over me. I take a rapid short breaths, each one more strained than the last. My whole body shakes. I can't tell whether this symptoms of panic or the venom itself. I try the door again, pulling and pushing as hard as I can before throwing myself at it. Nothing happens. I kick at it like they do in the movies. Nothing happens. I'm stuck, trapped, and I can see the spiders everywhere. Even after getting most of them off, they're all over the floor, the walls, and the ceiling of my clothes. I retreat to the dampest, water-stained corner of the room. The staining is so bad it looks like it's been burned black. Spiders don't moist areas. I remember reading about that at least. Wait, don't like moist areas. I continue to pick at my fur even after I think they're all gone. I can still feel them. I can almost feel my muscles around my neck and shoulders begin to cramp. My stomach feels like it's being twisted inside out, and it isn't long before I get the sensation of hot bile rising up my throat. The rough edges of morning's rice treat scrape my insides. I reel forward as it comes spewing out of my mouth. I can't breathe. It burns so much. I try to call out for help, but every time I open my mouth, it's just more vomit. There's another black widow climbing up my leg, but I can't focus enough to swat at it. Each breath I take is blubbering, like acid, going straight to my lungs. I just need someone to help me. I clench my eyes shut, and that's when I open them. Everything's different. The modern bookshelves and electronic equipment are all replaced with this old-timey crap I can't make out. But I see it, past a big wooden chair, a door. How the hell? Peeking, it's slow to a trickle from the edges of my mouth, but my insides still burn. I manage to push myself off the wall, stepping up to the creaky floorboards that weren't there a minute ago. I stumble past the old wagon wheels and piles of what appear to be Bibles. Eventually I reach it, the light. The door is already open ajar, so I just push, and it doesn't budge. No! Why? Why won't it open? I sink down to the floor, half collapsing as my knees start to give out. Help! I finally manage to croak out. Good lord! I manage to turn my head into the direction of the noise. A blurry figure now stands in the room, his voice one of shock. Professor Tibbets! I can't tell if he's looking at me or past me. Cliff? Oh, the sky's turning red. Just like that, he's gone. The room is still here. It's all red like before. I feel compelled to stand up again, but my legs won't budge. I just can't. Everything hurts. I shift my eyes down. The black widow that was crawling up on me earlier is now a blonde tarantula. Why? Why is this happening? Someone. I can't think straight. I just want to go home. Leo! Mom! Help! I miss home. God, I wish I was home. I hate this. Why won't anyone help? Why do they all leave me? Why can't I get out? Useless. No! Don't tell me that. Just die already. I'm not going to die. I'm not. The cramping in my muscles is the most intense I've ever felt. It's like the flesh itself is being peeled from the bone, each nerve ending plucked like whiskers. The tarantula is on my face now, the tip of my nose. I can see all of its eyes, and those eyes see the reflection of my own. Its dusty blonde hair begins to shift, dissolving into darkness, contrasting with neon orange markings. And then it becomes nothing. I close my eyes and wait. Find him. Okay. Dead. I sling the bow over my shoulder and set my quiver down on the yellow plastic table next to me. It's got a little cubby holder in the center meant for storing crayons and shit, but I haven't used it for that in a long time. Girl, what's up? You okay? I approach the target and tear off the photograph I printed out in the school's library. I remember the librarian giving me quite the look about it. Not that I was going to explain it to her what it was for. You tired, huh? Hey, you tired? Right between his turban, though. Not bad for 150 feet. I smile, holding it up and seeing the sunlight shine through the hole. It's at the moment, though, I start feeling a bit silly. What the fuck am I kidding? Oh, you both? You both getting jealous? These little dorks. Nobody's gonna kill this guy with a bow. They'll just blast him into 100 pieces with a weaponized UAV. Also, they don't let faggots in the military. Still, Uncle will dig this. He can hang it up in the garage next to 125 feet ones. He's been trying to get me to practice more with the 22mm, but I like the bow better. Not that I'd ever admit it, but I fucking hate the noise. I think I got sensitive ears or something. Carl was telling me to just use the silencer. Like, that's how it fucking works. Dudes gotta grow up in dumb movies and video games like they have no clue how the real world works. This place, at least, is pretty far away from any houses besides my own. I think I've only ever seen one other non-friend family person out here, and that was Heather's mom, stoned off her ass. None of the group are really into this stuff, so it's pretty alright when I'm wanting to be alone. I'm fond up with the picture, stuffing it into the side pocket of my cargo pants. I walk back to the firing lane, taking hold of my quiver once again. I draw my bow, readying another arrow. I'm about to fire, though this nearby rumbling sound starts coming from the road about a mile north. It sounds like someone is going off-roading. I squint past the glare of the afternoon sun and spot the pale blue of a truck heading in my direction. Through the windshield, I spot a familiarly small, tufted face. What the hell? I drop my gear, watching the vehicle accelerate and decelerate haphazardly. Shitbird, what are you doing? The truck pulls up and comes to an abrupt halt. I stepped up to the driver's side window about to chat to the furry bastard, but the look on his face stops me. I don't see any sort of jest or self-satisfied mischief as the kid steps out. Just shaking wide-eyed blankness. Whoa, what the hell's going on, dude? Flynn, can you come with me? He's acting weird as hell. Why? Please? I sigh. Yeah, scoot over. No way I'm letting someone younger drive me around. Just a sec. Gonna grab my gear so nobody steals it. Sydney just nods. I turn walking back to grab my cooler. Oh, so wait. So we're playing as Flynn then? No, wait. Because we played as... Because I think before it was Sydney, and now we're in Flynn's point of view. I guess folks are being fucky again. Still, he's gonna have to get his hide tan for jacking the truck. I throw my equipment in the truck bed before opening the driver's side door. Sydney's already sitting on the passenger side. I notice his eyes, the way they look all bleary and pink around the edges. He's been crying, goddamn. Wanna tell me what's up? Sydney says nothing. You ain't been killing hookers again, have you? I know the bitch step out of line sometime and you gotta keep your pimp hand strong, but there's some limits, little guy. I smirk at him. He just looks down in between his knees, cupping his face in his paws. Ugh, I'm not helping, am I? I clear my throat. Well, shit, at least tell me where we're going. Sydney rubs his face with his web paws. Finally, he lifts his head and speaks. Oh. We step around the damp sticks and bramble before eventually reaching the clearing. Sydney seems to get more nervous every step we take, muttering about being tough every now and then. I decided a while ago I wasn't going to pry, but I feel myself getting increasingly nervous. What the hell are we doing all the way out here? Eventually he comes to a stop, then points past some bushes. I can see what looks like rusted metal past the green. I raise a brow at him before stepping through. I see him and my gut sinks. Part of me wondered what could have possibly made Sydney act like this, and the thought crossed my mind but I didn't want to believe it. He's laying down in an awkward pose, legs bent up and tucked underneath the front bumper of the abandoned van. At first I think his mouth is open, but then I realize half of his jaw is missing, a clear hole visible all the way through his neck. I can see where the spine connects to the brain and everything. The blood is so dark, like motor oil. The words catch in my throat. I'm gonna be sick. I hear crying from beside me and I know he's there. I know he's seeing this too. Okay. Wow. Wow? Really? What did you... I didn't kill him. Sydney steps up to me, a surge of emotion upon his previously blank face. I didn't, I swear. I spot the rifle next to the corpse. It's a 22mm long barrel. Really awkward weapon to try to kill yourself with due to its length. I turn on the side of it, making me feel like I'm about to lose my breakfast. Are, are you sure? I wouldn't blame you if you did. I didn't! His shrill yell catches me off guard as I nearly lose my nerve. Okay, okay. He took you out here and he shot himself? We were arguing and he saw the van and started acting weird. His voice is much higher pitched than it usually is. Sydney always puts on this fake, gravelly sort of cadence to sound tough. He doesn't have any of that now, and just sounds like any other scared little kid. He left me, then came back an hour later with his gun. He said he wanted me to watch him do it. He looks like he's about to hyperventilate. He covers his face with his forearms, whimpering aloud. My head hurts. I take him by the shoulders and I turn him away from the scene. Let's take you back to the truck, eh? I believe you. Sydney's dad was a weird motherfucker. Real grinny, like TJ's folks, but even more completely fucking fake. We all used to go to the same church down in Prior Valley, so he treated me like I was one of them. As of late, though, he's been acting really strangely toward me. I always wondered if my parents told him something. Fucking doesn't matter now, does it? Let's sit you back down in the truck, okay? It's warm in there. Sydney just nods. We reach the truck and I start noticing little things about it that make my heart sink. The pack of Sydney's dad chewing gum on the dashboard, his Fishbait Pro Game bumper sticker, the Alpine Wind air freshener that dangles from the rearview mirror. All of this shit for a person who's just gone. Put the keys in the ignition and turn on the heater and radio. All that the antenna picks up here is some twangy country stuff. I step around the truck step and unzip the plastic cooler I got. I ate all the jerky from earlier. All that's left is a couple lemon lime sodas. I take one and hand it to Sydney. Here, drink this. His parents never let him have soda. I sort of expected him just to hold it and keep staring ahead blankly, but he actually pops the top and starts guggling it down. There's some more in the back if you get thirsty. They're gonna think I did it, aren't they? Who will? Everyone. They're gonna think I'm a monster. I open my mouth to dismiss that, but the more I think about it, the more suspicious it all looks. Not that I doubt Sydney for a fucking second. He wouldn't lie to me about something serious like this. But the cops? Dude, Sydney? The angle of the gunshot. He looks up at me, his big eyes welling up. It looks bad, like he couldn't have. I didn't want him to do it. I tried and I tried and I tried. I talked to him for hours, kept trying to pull it away. He wouldn't listen to me, he just kept talking. I resist the urge to muffle him as he begins to scream, looking around nervously. I don't think many people come to this part of the state land. Instead, I place a hand on his back, rubbing gingerly. It's okay. It's okay. I thought if I yanked hard enough... Snot dripples from his nose, which he wipes quickly on his jacket. He just shakes his head. It fired. Fuck. I feel my gut twisting at the prospect of what I'm about to do. It's like my insides have gone cold, as if the thermal padding on my clothing was gone. I'll take care of it. What do you mean? I'll, bury him. If anyone asks, you can say you were hunting down the pass a couple of miles from here. He stormed off. Will anyone believe that? More so than what really happened. My tongue comes out more curt than intended, and Sydney begins to bawl again. I kind of want to cry too. I squeeze Sydney's shoulders before letting go. Let's turn and head back to the van. It's like this physical sense of dread is hugging me the closer I get. What fucking else can I do here? Turn Sydney into the cops? They won't understand, even his mom wouldn't. She'd probably blame me as a bad influence that caused this to happen. As I near the abandoned van, I try to not look at the body. Just gotta find a good spot to start digging. There's 2 pinyon trees at the bottom of a nearby hill that is surrounded by thick undergrowth. That'll have to do. I just wish I had a shovel. Regardless, I begin to dig. And dig and dig and dig. Pull mounds upon mounds of soil with my bare hands. Worms, spiders, and other creepy crawlies that make Chase freak out more than any. Would probably make Chase freak out are everywhere. My hands start to feel raw, and I notice smears of blood on some of the soil I've been holding on after a while. I can't stop now. This is already too suspicious. Hours pass. My aunt and uncle are probably wondering where I am. Don't know what I'm gonna tell them. The truth? No. I'll just sneak in, act like I'm taking a shower, and change my clothes and wash when I get the chance. Think I'll finally get deep enough. Then my arms are numb as hell. I glance up on the hill and see the very edge of Sydney's dad's foot. Just need to get it over with. Quick tug and haul and we'll be home free. I don't move. Just keep staring at it. Like it'll start twitching or something and I'll hear his voice asking me what I'm doing. It's just so still like a rock. Empty. It reminds me of the upside down cockroaches that I find in the garage all the time. Just empty husks that once contained life are now just a shell. I'm overcome with this notion that I feel that I really, really don't want to die. Eventually, without realizing it, I managed to get my legs working again. I grasp the foot. As I pull it down the slope, it doesn't bend like I thought it would. Each movement of the joints kind of crackles with this horrible sound. I try to think of anything else to keep myself from throwing up. Gourmet salads, fishing trips, barbecues, my friends. The husk falls into the makeshift grave. For the first time, I see his eyes. He's looking at me, right at me. I always thought that looking at a dead person's eyes would be like seeing someone who's looking through you. But no, it's like he's focused on me. Fuck! Are you... I look down at Sydney's dad expectantly. No response. One of his arms is sticking up, frozen in rigor. It's too tall and it could stick out of the topsoil blew away. Take a deep breath and step down on it. Oh, it crunches like a bunch of dry twigs. I jolt back. Oh, fuck! I scurry back up the hill, grabbing the rifle, the shell casings, and the dead duck for good measure. I toss it all into the pit before feverishly covering it with all the dirt. So at that point, I notice Sydney standing nearby, clutching onto a tree like he's afraid he'll blow away. His brown cheek fur is matted with tears, and he wrings his heavy tail like a wet cloth. I make sure to cover the face as fast as possible, though I think Sydney saw it. I wonder if he saw the eyes that were looking at him, too. I skip the last full mounds of dirt on top, wiping the blood off my jacket. I'm panting. Sydney looks from the grave to me. He opens his mouth, pauses, then quietly mutters. Thanks, Flynn. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I nod for some reason. I manage to look at him straight in the eyes this time. Where do we go from here? Something happens. It's something on his face. It's like he's not himself. We'll be okay. We're tough. None of this matters. Van jostles and tears down as he careens down the dirt road before the turnoff to Wilma Bend. All this bumping and speeding is making my head hurt. Something fierce all of a sudden. Leo, slow down. The red wolf keeps looking over his shoulder as he drives, as if he's afraid to see Clint sprinting back behind us. Turn up here. Your place? Yeah, it's closest. I can't believe we left Chase behind. I told you, he bolted out the back door the first chance he got. I didn't know City Hall had a back door. There's silence for a moment and I say nothing. I've never seen him get like that before. Who? Clint or Chase? Shut up, Flynn. Fuck you. I feel a pinch on the back of my neck. Jenna haven't grasped me hard. Enough! I'm serious. Oh, so we're playing... Wait, so... Did Chase just die? Did Chase die from that spider bite? Because now we're playing as... Flynn. Okay. Leo just snarls like the feral little tit dirt that he is. Despite all his raging earlier, Leo actually looks a bit conflicted. Leo pulls up on the driveway and as the van stops, he is already out, storming his way to the door. I need a piss. It's locked. Leo turns the front door handle, and to my surprise, it opens up and steps right in. Or not. I step outside, stretching my limbs. There's not much room in Leo's mommy missile for someone like me. My mind's so buzzy trying to comprehend everything that just happened. Chase, that fucker. I think I've been fantasizing about him nonstop for the past goddamn week like a horny 14-year-old. He sabotaged the whole thing, making me look like some kind of calculating, sadistic rapist. And nobody else noticed when his face changed. Every time. TJ and Jenna passed along beside me, both looking a mix of wary and exhausted. I wonder how much of the shit they believed. So gullible to bullshit coming from a whimpering face after all. Carl follows suit, clutching his phone in his paws but not looking at it. Maybe not all of them, though. I shut the car door and head in. I enter and the dry heat feels so good on my scales. Let out a big sigh, taking a moment just to not think about it for a while, and to ignore the stares in my direction. Flynn? The moment lasts less than 5 seconds before Jenna interrupts. Yeah? Do you have a landline? We're trying to dial the sheriff, but none of us can get any reception on our phones. She shows bars every now and then, but it drops shortly after they disappear. Do I look like I'm 40? Nobody has landlines these days. You kinda do. I mean, from the back. I resist the urge to ask how instead of letting out a quick huff of air. Let me check mine. I reach into my pocket. After taking out my phone, I notice the signal bars on the top right are fluctuating wildly, almost blinking. I try to call 911, but nothing goes through. Shit. Not working for you either? I toss my phone onto the kitchen island. I'll just get my repeater. Your what? Flynn, seriously? Are you planning on turning this into some kind of Wild West shootout? This is not the time for one of your urban-ass anti-gun lectures. This is my house. Jenna starts up a rebuttal, but I'm already gone. I head down the hallway to the storage closet, opening it and reaching up to the top shelf. I don't have any small kids to worry about, so I always leave this one loaded just in case. I hear some huff and shuffling behind me. Looking over my shoulder, there's some movement going on in Daxton's room. Ordinarily, I'd give him in his private space a wide-ass berth so he'll do the same, but under the circumstances... Yo! The salamander blinks up at me from his bed. He's draped in a striped blanket, sitting upright and looking a little frazzled. Flynn? He looks sidelong, then back to me, then the rifle. The interview went that badly? Fucking terribly. Also, there's a meth head with a gun roaming around town, so I got this just in case. The others are here too. They're eating all your shit, probably. Okay. As long as they don't touch my astronaut dried ice cream, it's okay. Too late. By now Carl's eaten them all, plus the box that they came in. You know how goats are. Speciest. Wait, seriously, the interview didn't go smooth like? I wasn't fucking kidding when I said that. Daxton frowns. I'll talk to my cousin, make up some excuse or something. You look like shit. What? He blinks and rubs his hands over his smooth face. Oh yeah, took a nap and had a real strange sort of vision dream. I've been having a lot of those lately. I noticed the pen and paper in his lap now, plus a notebook filled with rapid scribblings. I needed to write everything down, otherwise I'd forget. You know how they are, where after 50 minutes it's all gone but a vague sense of familiarity of the setting and time of day. I don't dream. The salamander blinks. What? I look down the hall. I was joking earlier, but it looks like Carl is straight up digging through our pantry already. Daxton sighs when he realizes I'm not going to explain. Well, can I tell you about it? Look, it'll just take a minute. Dax, I'm distracted as dick right now. You're distracted by dick? Ass? Are you fucking deaf? Ugh. No, you're just confusing. Look, I was flying on this airship thing. In your dream? Yeah, but it felt real. I don't feel like I slept at all. It was like I was there. So, not a dream. Not a dream. A vision. A spirit quest. Out-of-body experience. Whatever the hell you want to be calling it. I lean my rifle against the doorway, crossing my arms over my chest. I could smell the metal of the cockpit. I could feel the leather of the chair. I was flying over this giant body of water. I don't think it was an ocean, though. He stares at the tips of his webbed feet poking up from beneath the blanket, as if they reminded him of something. It made me nervous because I wasn't good at swimming. But I wasn't great at swimming. I'm a goddamn salamander, yeah? Something went wrong with this pulse drive and I started losing altitude. Eventually I hit the water and had to evacuate. Everything just sunk instantly. I didn't have time to grab any gear. It's just me in the middle of the water. No land in sight and just little chance of rescue. The salamander begins to wring his own wrists. The tone of his voice serious despite the absurdity of all this shit. All I knew was how to doggy paddle. I remember being really scared and missing home. I tried slipping off all my clothing to make myself more buoyant, but that didn't work. I kept looking under the water for some reason, like to see how deep it was. I couldn't see the bottom, it was so dark. The top of the water was warm, but like 5 feet down it was freezing. I kept trying to pull my legs up because I didn't like them being down in the cold dark space. It was like I was afraid something was down there. Even though it hurt my eyes, I wouldn't stop pushing my head under to look, to be sure it was safe. He peers up at me now, a strange sort of expression on his face I can't really name. Just as I was getting dark, I glanced down into the depths and saw orange and black. It was you! I crossed my arms just a little tighter, my frown deepening. It was so far down I could just barely make out your general shape and your eyes. They were hollow, empty, nothing. Even though I forgot most of the other details, that face stuck with me. I unconsciously rubbed at my own eyes, still there as far as I could see. I was terrified, but there was nowhere I could swim. I was afraid if I started kicking, it would get the thing's attention. Despite everything, after a few minutes, it looked again. At first, it was just empty, and then this huge head just emerged from the depths. No eyes and a gaping mouth where muzzle should be. The whole water got cold, and I woke up. Daxton kneads at his blanket, looking at a mix of deeply uncomfortable and relieved to get this off his chest. Still, I stared blankly at him. I don't have a fucking clue how to react to this. Sounds like something for a head shrink to unpack, cause fuck knows I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna try. Daxton leans his head back against the wall. Thanks anyway. Yep. I look down the hall again and see Carl chewing on what looks like a dehydrated Neapolitan bar. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, that painted a very, very uncomfortable image in my head. I think what he's seeing was the vision where we killed him, where we killed Flynn in the river in TJ's ending. Carl's eating your shitty ice cream that you like for real, by the way. What? Oh, god damn it. Carl! The ram stops, his mouth full of the crumbly stuff. Fwah! Daxton peels off his blanket, marching up to the kitchen in a huff. I sigh, shaking my head some as I pick up the rifle and plop myself by a window in the dining room. TJ looks the most surprised at the weapon in my grasp, but Link's actually stepping back. Jenna pulls her phone down and Carl stops apologizing to Daxton. At that moment, Leo steps out of the bathroom. He doesn't move. He just looks at the rifle and then me. Oh, what the hell? These idiots act like they've never seen a gun before. For fuck's sake. I bring the rifle up to my chest. I don't gotta worry. I'll just have this to shoot you all for treating me like shit all of these years. I smirk, snickering some. No one else laughs. Even as I peer to Carl, he just looks down at his boobs. It was a fucking joke. I'm joking. You guys are so stupid. Way to go, Flynn. I turn shifting focus to the outside. It's nearly nightfall now. Everything looks normal. There's some smoke way off in the distance, but it's too far to really be much of a concern. I can't get a hold of Chase. No shit. The signal in the area is erratic. We couldn't get a call out to 911. Is that why Gila Gunslinger is over there by the window? I sneer. Yes, he insisted on us being protected. That's smart. I left my piece at home. Oh god, not you two. Let's just make some dinner instead. We're not gonna talk about what just happened? I'm sorry. Right now, I want to eat. There's a lot here to unpack, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but we can do better than what happened earlier. I find myself actually surprised. I never would have figured I'd hear those words from Jenna, especially with TJ around. You know, I'm gonna make a little theory here. Just a little theory here. What if that whoever was there, whoever was shooting the gun and acting all crazy, is actually Sydney's dad? I know it's a weird stretch, but there's a lot of crazy shit that happens in Echo already. Because, again, you have to remember, there's gunshots. You know? I'd kill for some carne asada right now. I gotta eat too. I'm starting to get a bit hungry. I might end the stream in like 4 minutes. Hopefully not literally. Flynn's already got that planned. Yeah, I heard. He gives me a bit of a cold look. What the hell is his problem? I'm the goddamn victim here. Not that I'd ever put it like that. I haven't exactly grocery shop to host a party of. Jackson stops, starting to count all of us. 6. The salamander opens the fridge, staring into it as if looking into a particularly deep canyon. We got some leftover salad, some fruit, cream cheese. There's frozen bass in the fridge. I glance over and a few of them grimace. Of course. We got a blender. Could make us some smoothies with kefir, yogurt, milk, and fruit. Maybe a side salad with it? I mean, I'm assuming y'all have just been quaffing down the local diner junk all week, so it might be nice. Carl, TJ, and Jenna exchange looks with each other. Leo, meanwhile, looks to be tapping at his phone, occasionally looking out the window. That'll work. Thank you, Daxton, and apologies for all of this. I didn't say it was fine. Some of that's my shit. Daxton gives me a dull look. Without further word, he takes out his big bowl of leftover salad and sets it on the counter, along with a grocery bag of fruit. I feel my teeth start to grit, so I shift my focus outside again. Still no signs of life beyond the usual distant spots of light, each coming and going down the highway around the canyon. The smoke I noticed earlier rising up near the res looks like it's billowed higher, though. Despite everything, it's actually looking sorta nice out. The temperature's okay, with some light cloud cover that only partially veils the purple-orange hues of the dusky sky. It's the sort of night I usually like to spend outside of the porch, drinking tea and whittling on some balsa. Daxton's usually quiet, cooped up in his room with his fantasy shit. I don't know how to feel about the music he is playing, but it's not bad. To think 30 miles away, Peyton's bustling with 100,000 people all enjoying their Saturday night. Hell, back in the day, it used to be a tiny ranching community that served Echo, kept everyone fed and such. 30 miles in the other direction, you've got the res. Population keeps dwindling from that place too, no matter how much money the feds give them to live there. All the young folk just pack up and get out while they can. The rest generally don't do too hot. Finally, 65 miles to the east, you got the Jericho Proving Grounds. I remember back when it was a twinny little jarhead fussing to my uncle to take me there. They only did tours twice a year and there's a huge wait list. I'd expected there to be a giant hole in the ground the size of Echo Canyon, but there's pretty much nothing. Dust and sediment had filled in all over the span of 75 years. Dry grass and shrubs had even sprouted on top. All that was left was just a torn up hunk of a 3-ton cylinder that burned so hot the metal liquefied and pulled beneath it. I am not cute, but hello, Gray. Well, come on in. The Black welcomes you. Hope you're having a good evening. We are gonna probably end stream here in a little bit. So I think right now we're just trying to finish up this little part. Well, if it weren't for the big black obelisk they erected up top, which is now just another spot for visitors to take photos of themselves. No, I'm not. I'm not cute and I never will be. Man mustn't forget the past, for the past will not forget man, it reads. Reminds me of that whole push from the county to make them mine some fucking tourist spot. Just a slap a plaque up there with a little blurb of all the death and shit. Make a great selfie. Make a great selfie spot. Getting to bed anyways? Yeah, I feel that. Stop denying it. There is no denying it, because I'm not cute and I never will be. And that's the truth and only the truth. Nope, never cute, never will be. Traffic is traffic, right? Hell, call it haunted and you'll get even more weirdos coming here to exploit it. Like Chase. As I hear the background noise of muffled conversation and Daxton trying to figure out how my blender works, the present sinks in. I wonder if he's gonna figure his way out before I can get to him. I look over and Daxton's putting a whole fucking apple into the blender. Son of a bitch, what are you doing? Nope, that isn't cute and it never will be. Daxton looks up, struggling to keep the lid on as the apple smacks hard against the sides of the plastic container. Cut the fucking thing up first, it's not gonna take a whole apple. The salamander still looks a bit dazed. Guess he's still reeling from his dream or whatever. Don't just me, do it you fucking slippery bitch before you break my shit. Flynn. Jen is glaring at me from the living room. It's my shit and it's my house. Jesus man, I'm stopping. He pulls out the lacerated apple, setting it on a paper towel while grumbling. How do you just deny it? There is no denying it. I'm not cute and I never will be. That's just the truth. Gosh dang. Ashburgers and french fries, I swear. I clenched my rifle harder, hearing that old A word again. Turning, I make my way down the hall. There's a window in my bedroom. I'll watch there. No one else says anything, at least while I'm still in earshot. I kick aside my hamper and pull open the curtains to peer outside. View's not as good here, but I don't think I could stand being in there for too much longer. I tense, feeling the brush of fur on my arm. Carl's standing next to me, some freeze-dried ice cream in his grasp. Jesus, when did he get so quiet? He doesn't say anything, which puts me in the awkward position of being the one to speak. Fat ass, I mumble. Carl holds up the ice cream, which has a weird wafer-like consistency. I am 5'11", Gray. So, close to 6 feet. I told Daxton to give him a bunch of hens cartons I got back at my house. You folks won't mind? They won't notice. I could just say I ate it myself. Yeah, they wouldn't doubt that. There was a light smile on his muzzle now. Right. I blink. You're okay? Not really. All this stuff has got my mind off of the interview, though. I just kind of want to go home and play video games without getting shot. There's a silent pause. Your height difference doesn't mean anything. If you brag about your height, then you're stinky. That's just how it works. Chase. What he said wasn't true. Oh, I know. I let out a sharp exhale, closing my eyes for a second. I let the tip of my repeater rest against the floor. Thank you, though. For what? Defending me back at the office. The ram shakes his head dismissively. I don't think you'll see most of them besides Leo after tomorrow, though. Like you said, none of this matters. No, it doesn't. Yeah, see? Carl just said that it doesn't matter. So therefore, your opinion doesn't matter. Well, thankfully I'm not cute. Truth does. I guess your spring break hookup with Chase isn't gonna be a long-term thing then, right? I wasn't really expecting that to be brought up. Who told him? Or was it that fucking obvious? Pulls out his phone, seeming to check whether it was my Wi-Fi that was working yet. I grunt, clearing my throat. I just want to know what happened. Dude, if I was Chase, I'd just get in my car and drive back to Puebla at this point. I don't think he's gonna do that. Why? I locked his ass in the Oh my god. So that's where you went. I think that's a crime, man. So was murder. Dude, this is Chase you're talking about. Yeah? I look offward, peering at the sorry state my room is in at the moment. I usually keep my shit tidy, but now there's dirty laundry all over the place and everything kind of smells musky. Nowhere near as bad as Carl's, but still. I'm just gonna talk with him. No torture or anything, right? Fucking hell, Carl. Do you really think I'd do that? I'm not Leo. I was joking. He rolls his shoulders. It feels like kind of when we were kids again with all this stuff. Yeah, it's... I trail off like my mouth is refusing to speak the words in my head. He sets his not icy ice cream down on my nightstand, and I resist the urge to yell at him about the crumbs. Meanwhile, Daxton starts with the blender again in the other room. Man, I think I hear Carl sigh. You want like a hug or something? I look down at him, raising a brow. Do you? He shrugs, seeing a mixture of numb and trepidatious. I just don't want you to leave, dude. Not like everyone else. It takes me a moment to register the shift in the conversation. After everything that's happened, that's what's bothering him the most? The fact that I said I might leave town? Man, we talked about this shit, Earl. Earl, wait. Oh. Man, we talked about this shit, Earl. I know, dude. Oh, heck. That is not a fun distance to drive. Well, I hope you have a safe drive tomorrow, because holy heck, that is a long-ass drive. I don't think you have. Carl rubs at his jaw and face with the base of his paws, pacing up upon the carpeted floor. It just suck ass is all. Not in a good way either. I fidget with my rifle, acting like I'm doing something with it while thinking of what to say. Oh, those are cute. I like those. You'd be alright. I don't know, you seem to be friendlying up with Dax. He even plays video games and does all that other nerd shit you like that I don't. You game sometimes. Yeah, only because you do. I guess that's the point, isn't it? He scratches at his beanie, a bit of his head fur peeking out from the hornholes. I say nothing, just watching him go back and forth. I wish he wasn't so nervous. I wish he'd just say it. He's cool. And you're not all anxious around him. I still kinda am. You were talking about porn and shit with him within an hour of your first proper conversation. That's how you can tell you made a good friend. I put on a smirk. If that were the case, he'd be the most popular guy in this county. Oh, fuck off, bleeder. I smirk regardless. With a shift in my hips, I nudge him with my tail. Stop your treading, you're wearing out the carpet. Sorry. He stops, looking down at his hoops for a moment, then back up to me. I love the heart emote the most. Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks really good for the heart emote. If I stayed put, I'd probably start sticking to it. Fuck you. I smiled, though I tried to stifle it. I always thought us lizard folk look fucking creepy when we smile. We don't really have that same cutesy appeal like most furry fuckers. Like Carl. This is gonna sound really gay, but promise you won't leave, dude. The seriousness of the request makes me pause. I'd look into his eyes and feel a selfish asshole. Like a selfish asshole. Carl's not fucking ready for this world. He's just gonna rot here. But I never really felt right filling this whole big brother role again after what happened. Carl shifts his weight from hoof to hoof, not noting my lack of response. Yeah, it is a pretty silly. Those emotes are pretty silly. I know I'm like a total burden, but you're not a fucking burden, huh? You keep me from losing my mind in this shithole. You know that? You're the reason I haven't left it already. Carl stops shifting, seeming to be trying to wrap his head around that admission. He opens his muzzle to speak, but I cut him out. And don't fucking go off again how you're almost 21 and you should be better on your own. Turning into an adult doesn't magically fix all the shit that fucked you up as a kid. Dude, you're not... He thins his lips, the rambling looking rather awkward. I'll stay, for now. For real? That's what I just fucking said, you absolute dumbass. The next thing I know, Carl's fist is against my soft spot. I flinch back, irking, and... Wait. Are we about to... He's not punching me, he's poking me. The corner of Carl's lips curls upward into a sort of half smile. He nudges me again, this time in the shoulder. I raise an inquisitive brow, thumping it back. He steps forward, wrapping his arms around my torso. I'm left standing a little baffled at what just happened, with Carl's thick arms around my midsection. Are we about to... Not to the point that it's prickling me, but how his weight has to be in. I look down at the top of his beanie nog, and it really is just like when he was a kid again. Real damn milksop. There's no back pass with the hug. He lingers. I open my mouth to say something stupid, but I just bite my tongue. I don't draw back either. Closing my eyes, I empty my mind and just stop thinking for a moment. Oh, are we kissing? I get this sort of weird twisty feeling in my chest. Carl shifts again as if he was trying to look up. And of course the edge of his hoops steps right on one of my toes. I suppress a grimace just as Ram lifts his head up, enough to meet me eye to eye. Sorry. Hey, it's fine, I'm tough. Hey! Jenna's voice startles us both and we pull apart. I pivot on heel to see the fox staring at us with a look I can't quite place. Surprised, bemused, even a little wry. Food's ready. She looks at both of us. Carl acts as if he's been checking his phone. High school me would be squeeing right now. I swear, there's something in the tap water. I open my mouth to protest, then just let it quiet. Ugh. I have to will my tail not curl in on itself. Then again, I'm pretty sure you don't drink plain water. She seems to be looking up at Carl. I can practically see Carl's blush through the fur on his cheeks. Flynn, when you got a minute. What? I clear my throat, putting on a more neutral expression. What do you want? I need to talk to you. Not about this. Her eyes flick back and forth between us. She's drinking the sight like Carl downs energy drinks. What the hell does she want to talk to me alone about? I glance down at Carl, then back. Yeah, I'm still gonna keep my watch after though. Is that what you were doing? She turns, departing as soon as she finishes speaking, not letting me get a word out. Fucking typical. I wrapped my hand over my face. It was just a hug. Carl's voice is quiet, but still rings defensive. Fucker. Glad you're staying though, dude. I grunt, reaching over and squeezing the purge of the ramp's side. He grins instinctively, trying to push my hand away. I give his pectoral one last pinch. Before giving him a nudge out the door to my room. I guess I'm supposed to feel embarrassed right now, but I don't really. I'm just glad to have this loser around. Daxa will be good for Carl if I do go, but I don't want to think about that for now. As I turn to leave, I look at my bed and I can't help but see him laying there. A vacant look in his eyes. Something slatted on his neck? Fucker was playing me the whole time, and for what? To get off? That's all it was. It's spring break, and he's come for some reason he's watched enough Scaly Point to want me. Consequence free, right? The sound of clinking silverware in the kitchen pulls me back to the present. I straighten out my pants. Okay, well on that note, I think we are going to end. Oh, wait, no. Let's go to the title screen. So yeah, that was Echo. Very interesting story. And I did not expect to be seeing, I did not expect us to be playing through Flynn's point of view, but that's actually pretty cool.